I've added him to the call.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. I've added him to the call. My chin is actually here.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
You right?
Oh, I'm all right. How are you? Are you
I'm
all
all
right?
right,
I'm
yeah.
all right. Are you all right?
The boys are back in town. We're all here.
Boys are back
I know,
down.
it's been a while.
I know. It's been weird.
It's been a while. Antonio's in the chat. Say hello to Antonio.
Yo,
Antonio.
There's
How
other
was your-
people in the chat as well, but they're too
They're silent. They're
they're
silent.
too
people.
scared
Anything.
to say anything.
Never say anything.
But not
Kids say
Antonio.
Now.
What about banana? Na, 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 na.
What are you
I think
talking
we're
about?
Start.
That's one of the users. Banana. Na, 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 na.
Yeah, start the show, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we doing that? Are we doing what? What?
Would we not start the show?
Oh, let's just do it.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
Come on, get down, get up, do the bed.
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers. Juju, Chili, and Fellas will tell you about every single game that you're playing this week. News, reviews, and an indie pick. Stu story time and Chili's game breakers. Here comes Duke with the soundbite saviors.
You can stick your face
It's
up
the
your ass.
veteran gamers.
You can stick your face
It's the
up your ass.
veteran gamers.
You can stick your face up your ass. You can stick your face
It's the
up your ass.
veteran gamers.
If you need me, I'll be in the bubble bath.
Switch that console off before you have to press repeat.
Take this.
Oh no. The ball is grind. It works at so many levels.
Hello and welcome to episode 479 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Yay, 479, and we've arrived just in the perfect arrival moment. I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
And I'm Chinny.
We're all back
We
together.
are all together.
Veteran gamers all in one place.
Yeah.
No guest hosts.
All together now.
Thank
in
you. to
no
everybody-
man's land. Together.
Yes. Okay. Well.
Okay.
It's you know what? We're not military veterans. Let me just start by
No.
saying
No.
that.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
We've never even, I've personally never held a rifle. You
I,
know?
I do want to go shooting, though.
Yeah.
And I've
yeah.
seen lots of war films. So if there are any
Have you?
veterans listening, then, you know, I pretty much know exactly what you went
I
through.
can do you one better. I've played a lot of video games that take place in war zones.
Ah, as have
Kinda
I.
like-
That's close. That's close. I have shot a shotgun, though. That's to be said.
Okay.
I shot one of those. That was a lot of fun,
Well,
actually. Clay
here's
pigeon
your award
shooting.
for amazing warrior, then, Stu.
Yeah, I've shot clay pigeons, not real ones. You know,
Ah.
discs
Well,
made
you
of
clarified
clay.
that. Usually, when people say clay pigeons, most people listening would go, "What? Real pigeons?"
Yeah, real
Made of
pigeons.
clay.
Made of clay. They're just like little discs
Feet of
of
clay.
clay. It's a lot of fun. If you ever have a go of it, and it
I've
hurts your
always
shoulder,
wanted to do it, but no one will ever go with me.
I'll go with you, Ginny, because I really liked it.
But
It's
if
And
people
no one I
wanted
like will go with me.
Oh,
If
Sorry.
people wanted to go with you somewhere else, Chinny, where's the next opportunity for people to go with you
that's a
somewhere?
good
Hey,
question.
you know
Hey.
what? I'm going to the arcade club in Bury, all right?
But,
Why are you
and-
going there?
Because there's loads of fantastic arcades. You pay £15 on the door. It's kid friendly, right? And you can just
Is it all
go
you
in.
can play after you pay that £15?
Say that again, Duke.
Is it all you can play after you pay your £15 to get in?
Say that again, Duke.
Is it all you can play when you get in?
That is all you can. No, you can play whatever you want, Eric.
Oh my
Anything.
I'm
Anything
saying
for
that.
that.
You play as much as you want after you
Play
pay
as
them.
you want. Say it again, Duke. No,
I'm not going to say it anymore. Quit telling me to repeat myself.
don't say it again.
Sound
Duke.
like an idiot.
Said
Uh,
again.
And we're meeting at this arcade club in Bury on the
Bury.
13th of April. The 13th of April, which is not that
13,
far
1-3.
away. And
It isn't.
I'm going to be there. Stuart's going to be there. Eric
I'm gonna
isn't
be there.
going to be there. But there's
I
going
really
to
like you there in
jeez.
spirit.
there's going to be.
At one point in the past, I did FaceTime in, so you might see my face on a
Yeah,
screen.
we could
Might.
FaceTime you in.
Might.
But cool people from other podcasts are going to be there, and listeners, some listeners that went there last year are going to come back, and we're going to have a good time. So if you think, hey, I want to meet these three fucking nerds in real life, then first of all, get your head checked. Second of all, come on down. We have a Facebook group on the Facebook. So you find us Veteran Gamers on Facebook, look for the black and white logo, and then there'll be an event on there. You have to scroll down about 3 weeks because that's how Facebook works these days. And then there's an event there, and you can just click join, and that's when we know you're coming. You need to do that because if you don't, then and there's a fire, then we'll just leave you in the building, right? So you don't
have known where you were
dying in a fire. And then we're gonna go and have pizza later and chill out and talk bollocks. It's going to be a good time, right? It's going to be a good time.
I don't know what exactly this day is going to be like. I think it'll be fun. But I can say I hung out with a bunch of the people who are going to be at the arcade club in April last summer, and it was awesome. It was one of the best days of my life. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, maybe I want to go, maybe I don't, I'm not sure, get your head out of your ass and go and do the thing. Have fun.
Paul came last year. Remember Paul, Stu? And he came.
I
and
remember
he hadn't met us before. Rob also came and he hadn't met us before. And he was like, what was I worrying about? Everybody's so nice. Apart from Chinny, he's a bastard.
Yeah, Chinny's a bit standoffish, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apart from that,
like, you
everybody's
listen to
really
him on the podcast and he sounds really friendly and all that, but you
Yeah.
meet him in real life and he's like, don't touch me.
I can't remember what it was.
Don't breathe on me.
I think
don't talk to me.
I think it might have been on Instagram or something, but somebody basically said like, oh my god, like now that I like it's the first time I've seen you, like I think it was a clip of me on the Instagram, Veteran Gamers Instagram, and it was like, you know, you don't sound how you don't look how you sound, Chinny. You look a lot nicer than I imagined.
I expect you to be drooling on yourself and smearing snot into your hair.
Yeah. So
what is the matter with people?
I think he imagined me to be like this horrible, mean person. Maybe.
Well, you are.
Well, you are, but he talked about how you looked. He expected you to look mean.
Yeah, look mean.
Look mean.
So, you know.
That's funny. Yeah, so it was good. Fun times ahead.
Fun times, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'd imagine you two have been doing the exact same thing that I've been doing today, and that's been watching the Dog Olympics. Is that right?
No, I have not been watching the Dog Olympics.
What? What?
Well,
what
you put
there's a really good story
My
there.
favorite time. It's story time. Story time.
That is where you're wrong, Eric. That is just a clever spin on the fact that I watched Crufts just before the show started.
I see what you did there.
Crufts is basically the Dog Olympics, Duke, right? And it happens at the same place where the EGX used to happen in Birmingham. And it's all these people get all these dogs together, and they all prance around, and like this guy touches up all these dogs and says, "Oh yeah, good breed," and then one dog gets voted the sexiest dog of all the dogs.
I don't know that it's sexiest necessarily.
It is the sexiest.
Yeah,
like
they feel the balls.
Yeah,
and
they feel the
everything.
balls, and they feel. Oh, that's good ears. Oh, it's good bone
Stick
structure
your
on that
finger
one.
up the bum.
Yeah, sniff it.
Do
You
all
know,
that
all
stuff.
that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what they
You're
do.
watching the wrong stuff.
you need
That's
to
what
sort
they
it
do,
out.
man. They're into all that stuff. Those dog handlers, I tell you,
Oh, yeah,
they
they
feel
love it.
those dogs up big time.
I love it. Apart from
They
that,
do.
everybody else. This is the first time we've been together for about 2-3
It
weeks.
is. It is.
So you know.
No, I think the Duchess up.
What?
Oh, is he gone?
Has he gone?
No, I'm
The
here.
hell? Oh.
I'm just keep my voice down. The Duchess is sick. I'm trying to be a little quieter.
I thought I
okay.
heard you say, I think the Duchess has just thrown up, is what it sounded like.
Oh, I said I think I woke the Duchess up.
I see what you did.
Pick her up.
Yeah, well, you're not exactly the quietest person. Like me, I get told off
That's why
all
I'm trying
the
to be
time.
quiet now. But if I'm quiet, sometimes y'all don't hear what I say, and I will not be ignored. God damn it.
Derek in the chat's asking that can attendees touch the hair of Rob from the boss fight?
I don't know. It's all up to Rob.
Yeah, we can't talk for Rob.
It's all up to Rob, really.
It is.
I can't give that permission. I don't have that power. Do you know
No,
what I
we
mean?
don't. We don't. We can't say what Rob wants people to touch and not touch.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So you can make a lot more money if you did allow him to touch people allowed to touch Rob's hair.
Yeah, people. I don't know what the obsession is with Rob's hair. What is this obsession about?
Couldn't tell you.
Anyway.
Anyway.
That's nothing to do with anything to do with video. Well, it kind of is video game related, I suppose, very loosely.
Is it raining where you are, Stuart?
It's peeing it down. It's awful here. The weather is truly awful.
Mm-hmm.
It is all kinds of bad. We've had rain, snow, hailstones, wind, shit. It's just terrible.
Shit's coming from the sky.
We have shit falling from the sky. It is truly shocking. Well, hey ho, winter. What are you gonna do? Like this time 2 weeks ago, it was like 20 degrees.
Crazy, and everybody was running out in the streets, like screaming at each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell you, the fucking who knows.
Yeah.
Crazy global warming stuff going
Right,
on.
shall we crack on with the fucking show?
Yes.
Oh no, Duke has a show. Duke has a story time. Let's do that.
He has a story. Oh my god.
Well, it's a story in the sense that I'm reading it out of a book.
Egghead like this bookie book.
But you know what? This is a book that Chinny might actually enjoy. I don't know.
God.
It's called Inside Black Mirror, and it's an oral history, which means it's just people talking about the show and how they made it, and they go through each episode and tell little interesting tidbits, and it's just so good. It's so cool to learn all the things about, how they got John Hamm and where the idea for White Bear came from and all these different things. And the intro, they talk about when they went to the Emmys, because San Junipero won 2 Emmys, Best Writer and Best TV Movie. So Charlie Brooker tells this story at the end of one of the sections. How's this for a first world problem? I walked into the governor's ball dying for a drink. People had trays of champagne, but I couldn't take one because I had an Emmy in each hand. So I actually had a moment of slight annoyance. What a prick. But genuinely, as somebody who tends to worry about things a lot, the Emmys were unequivocally a nice thing.
There you go.
So I thought that was a lot of fun. It's a really good book. It's fascinating, and it's I'm really enjoying. I'm burning right through it because I'm watching the series again. So I want to make sure I can stay ahead of each episode as I watch it, so that I don't read about it before I get to the second viewing.
Do you know? Weirdly, I've never watched all of Black Mirror. I've watched odd episodes.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, that's the thing, is that like some episodes are better than others. But the whole thing I think is really good, and even the worst episodes are still well done.
I've dipped in and out. That's what I've done. I've had a dip.
Yeah, well.
He's had a dip.
Drink deeply from the waters because they're disturbing, man.
Maybe that's what I need to do.
Archangel, I think, is the one that affects me the most. I think because I'm a teacher, it really has a powerful impact on me. But every parent needs to watch that because it's great.
Very good. Right. You know what? We should talk about some games because, like, Chinny weren't here last week and you weren't here the week before. Let's do this shit. Spin the wheel, Chin.
Where are you going? Story time's over, isn't it?
What you been playing?
Let's get to this.
What you been playing? What you been playing?
You know what? I feel a little bit like out of practice. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like...
It's weird, isn't it?
Oh, God. So, okay. I'm getting the wheel up. Can I get a woo for the wheel, please?
Ooh, the wheel of spinniness.
All right, here we go. And I'm spinning it. It's spinning. It's spinning. And Stu, just by a pubic hair, you have won.
Is it a whisker?
A
whisker?
By a gnat's cock, you have won it.
Very good. Well, God almighty, it's raining so much here.
It is.
Right, I know,
rain.
it's terrible. I do apologise for the rain noise, but, it's soothing. Some people like the sound of rain.
Well, not us, and not during their podcast. They like it.
I know. What can I do? British weather, man. Don't blame me.
Under a tin roof.
I know. It is a bit like that. Right, I have finished a game this week. Finally. Finally finished a game this week. And that game would be God of War. Finally. I've gotten through it.
Let's play. Guess the game that Chili's played and finished this week.
Yeah, God of War, man. Right, okay, here's my verdict. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. The ending, I thought, actually was pretty good. I really liked the ending. I liked how it happened and how clever the credits were. I like the credits. I thought they were cool.
I don't remember anything.
That's so funny.
Not just about the.
I
end
remember,
credits or
like, I
game.
won't
That
spoil
is-
for people that haven't finished it. I won't spoil it, but I remember, like, I remember the kind of last thing you do in the game with the sun, right?
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember the reveal. I
Yes.
remember.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And then did you do the epilogue? Of course.
Oh,
I bet you didn't, did you? I bet you didn't do the
I
epilogue.
must have done.
There's a thing you've got to do after you think you've finished and you've not really finished. So there's another like little ending.
I must have done it. I must have done it because I carried on playing it for a bit and then went, "Fuck this."
Yeah, but you've got to go to a specific location to do the last little bit, and then it really finishes. So you then have to wait for all the proper credits. Do you remember sitting through proper credits?
Welcome to the Let's Ask Chinny what he
I know,
remembers.
yeah. Let's ask Ginny what you remember from.
No, I don't remember sitting through the.
Do you remember
credits.
being born?
No.
Yeah, do you not remember?
I heard an interesting thing about memories, right? So memories, the way memories work is when you remember something, you don't remember the thing happening. You remember the last time you remembered it.
Oh, dude.
The fuck?
I blow my mind.
So no,
man.
I don't remember remembering the credits.
There you go. You don't remember remembering the credits. In that case, you possibly didn't finish it.
Well, fuck that. I ain't doing it.
To be fair, the finishing
Finish it as much
finishing
as
bit,
shit.
the finishing it bit only takes sort of 10 minutes to be
I don't
fair.
think
It's
you
not-
heard. I don't think you heard me, Stuart. I'm gonna say it again for you, right? But this time I'm gonna say it slowly for you, okay?
Slowly.
Fuck
Yeah.
that. I ain't doing it.
Okay.
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 I've
Ain't
got
gonna-
shit to do and lots of games to play, Stuart.
Yeah.
I ain't got time to go
Okay.
back to old ones, right?
I know.
And then
I know.
see like some
Can't write it down now.
5-minute cutscene where like Kratos cries over a fucking tree because his wife is dead, right?
That's not what happens. But
Well,
fair
it was a
enough.
guess. It was pretty. I bet it's pretty close.
It's not. It couldn't be any further away.
All right, he doesn't cry. He just looks at a thing.
There is no crying involved.
Okay.
Can I just say? Right, but what I am going to say is this game is a technical marvel.
Yes.
It is.
You know, when you compare it to other games,
Yeah.
it's just in a whole other league of
It
its
is.
own. You know, like
Yeah.
when I go back to play it and I look at other stuff I've been playing recently, I'm like, there's nothing in the same category.
Stu,
as
it's
this.
almost like you've looked at my notes that I haven't made about the game that I'm playing, and you're repeating them back at me
How weird is that?
about the game that I've been playing this week. But I won't talk about that yet. But you're right. You get spoilt when you play a game this
do.
good.
You do. It's just even like everything about it, the animations, the voice acting, the lip syncing, the everything. It is, like I say, on a whole other level to most other games. And it also shows you, if you've got the know-how, how much power you can get out of these consoles still. Do you know what I mean? You think like everyone's like webbing on about how powerful their PC is and running whatever game in whatever frame rate at whatever resolution and all that sort of stuff. But you don't need any of that. If you can pump the power out of these like you can with this game, then you know, it makes you wonder whether you need a PS5 at all. That's all I'm saying. It's just people need to learn how to develop for it, because compared to Exodus, you know, which, like, you know, all the Metro games have been considered graphically amazing in the past, and obviously even this one presently, but it's not in the same league at all. It just isn't. It's just not. Like, everything is just so polished. I don't remember a single glitch or bug playing the whole game. I don't remember anything ever happening where something went wrong, or there was something that shouldn't have happened, or there was some character where it shouldn't have been.
No, I don't think I don't recall anything like that happening.
No. And it just shows it can be done, but you've just got to put the effort in, I guess.
I guess so.
You know what I mean? So
Pull
anyway,
your finger out, everybody else who works
yeah,
endless
fucking
nights.
look.
Hey,
Yeah, just not doing the job
you
properly.
selfish
But-
bastards.
can I just say, going back to Game of the Year last year, had I finished this last year, it probably would have featured in my top 5, I would have said, somewhere.
It's crazy that it didn't. I'm shocked that you just didn't put it in there.
I couldn't count a game I hadn't finished.
I know, but like, you played it. Do you know what I mean?
No, I have to finish the game to count it.
I guess.
That's weird.
It's your rule. You know, it's your
it's
own
my
rule.
rule.
If you're going to make that rule, Stu, then you need to make more of a dedication to finish the game. Like, I didn't include Red Dead 2 because I didn't get very far at all in it. But you got pretty far in God of War.
Oh yeah, I was like I say, to finish it took me probably about 4 hours from where I was when I said last time. I was about 3 or 4 hours from the end that I said. And every massive boss battle was epic. You know, like really epic. It's just a beast of a game, and you know, if you've got a PS4 and you haven't gotten around to playing this. And I know there's new shiny things coming out this year, but you owe it to yourself to play it because it really is a benchmark for games on the PS4.
Well, people who buy, you know, systems and then don't play games on them, that's just idiotic.
He's talking about himself.
Attention, new listeners. That's
what you said there. Yeah, it is a benchmark. So, yeah, just go and buy it. And you'll probably pick it up for about, what, 15, 20 quid now, I guess?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's not gonna break the bank. And it's worth every single penny. There you go.
I'd like to take this moment to shout out the people in the chat. We've got Derek Signs in the chat, Antonio's in the chat, and Twitch Funk. He's from Instagram.
So, brother, check it out now.
I've been sending him messages on Instagram, mainly dick pics, but you know he doesn't mind.
Like you do. There you go. And we've got Twitch FNK in the chat who says the credits when you beat Smash. Oh, is that what you just said?
Ridiculous.
Just ignore me then. I thought that was something else you were saying then.
I think you mean continue to ignore you.
Yeah, just continue to ignore me.
We spinning the wheel?
Yeah, spin the wheel, man.
Dun 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 dun. I'm stalling. Dun 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 dun. Stalling to swap the scene. Swap the scene. Right, spinning it. Eric, you're up.
Hey, it's Eric. Well, I've been playing Rocket League.
Oh, God.
There's a new season. I landed actually in Diamond on 3s, but then I dropped out of it very quickly. Yeah, nothing much to report there. Minecraft, I got to a townie server. I'm not going to bore you with any details about that. Yeah, Insurgency continues to be awesome. I played 3 demos in order to have something new to talk about this week.
Woohoo!
You're welcome.
Yes.
And first one is called Grand Battle. Doesn't that sound great?
Sounds grand.
Sounds grand.
It's grand, exactly. And I'm happy to report.
Piece of shit.
It's wank.
Oh.
Oh dear.
It's
Is it just not battle-y enough?
Good. It's plenty battle-y. That's not the problem. The problem is that it's not interesting. First of all, it's clearly made by some very young people. And I don't know if maybe they have like a friend who coded it for them or something, or there's some kit where you can just copy and paste an already made game. It wants to be Diablo. If the video goes up, you'll see that it's, you know, it kind of looks Diablo-ish. Like the gameplay looks polished, but it's not polished. It's so bad.
Oh dear.
Okay, first of all, you start off I wish I had streamed it because it's kind of worth playing the demo just to see how different it is from what you're looking at on the screen, because you start off in a tavern, okay, and it does the self-referential. It's trying to be cute and funny, right? Like, this story begins like all good stories in a tavern, and there's 4 people sitting around a table. One of them is your hero that you've chosen at the start of the game, and it's like, you know, this woman in a black armor outfit with a bow and arrow. And then there's like 4 barely drawn idiots standing near her at the table. And it's like, why is this woman hanging out with these crude children's drawings? It makes no sense. And their dialogue is like, what should we do? I don't know. I'm bored. What is there to do? And then someone goes, I heard a meteorite crash nearby. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go. It could mean the end of the world. And by the way, Chinny, if you're looking for footage of this game, you're not gonna find it.
So which one are you talking about now? Grand Battle?
Grand
Battle.
You're best off just putting the
Yeah.
thing from Steam up.
Okay.
So it's just so and like the jokes are like, oh, a meteor crashed nearby. Let's go figure out if it's evil. And then you go toward it, or you say, yes, I'll go do that. It's like, all right, but then you can't leave the village for some reason. There's like a guard at the edge of the village.
You know why? You know why, don't you?
Why?
Because you've got to go to some cellar somewhere and kill some rats.
No, you have to go north to fight some bandits for some reason.
No, it's always rats, man, in these games. You always start by killing rats in a cellar. That's what they send you to do.
If that were actually part of the game, like... it's so weird. So anyway,
Would that make it better? Would it make it better if you could kill some rats?
No, it depends on how that part of the story is told. Because in a lot of these games, like in Fable, you're starting off as a kid. You're not ready to go fight any dragons. You have to do something small like killing rats in a basement. So this game, you're a fully, adult warrior with some badass armor on. And anyway, whatever. It's totally. So I went north to go kill the bandits, and I get up to the north, and there's another guard on the north edge of the city map, and he goes, "You can't go any further." I'm like, I thought I was supposed to kill bandits, and I couldn't find any bandits. So then I go left toward the west side, I guess, or whatever, and I go west, and there's like 3 spider-looking things that jump out, and they killed me. And then when I died, it said on the screen, you know how like in Dead Souls it says you died, right? Or whatever. Sometimes it'll say game over.
Did you say Dead Souls?
Demon Souls, whatever.
Dark Souls.
Dark Souls, whatever. This game, when I died, it actually said wrecked. R-E-K-T.
Wow.
It's like, holy shit. A 6-year-old learned how to make a goddamn video game.
Brilliant.
So, like GTA says wasted. Like, dude. Dude. This what a dude.
A joke on that or something. It's just so bad.
So this is like it kind of, to me, looks like kind of like it's an isometric Diablo view, right? And you've got a party.
It wants to be a Diablo game. And maybe, if they balanced it and they got rid of some of the dumb jokes, I don't know. But the first monsters I came upon just killed me in like 2 hits.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the fuck's going on here? This makes no sense.
That's life though, Eric.
Yeah, that's how it works. Look, if someone jumped out on you with a sword and stabbed you in the face, you would die.
Yeah.
Pretty much instantly.
Yeah. Life's cruel.
I like a fantasy element in some of these games.
Eric.
So
Life's cruel.
People die with sword stabs.
Is trying to teach us something about
it's a cruel world out there, Eric.
It is. If some weird, like, mystical creature jumped out and bit your face off, you would probably die.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't give a thumbs up to Grand Battle. It's a boring ass name. It's a dumb game. It's just not good.
I think the people on like Steam who are playing it are better than you because they haven't died yet.
Well, this is the promotional video, so it's probably the devs, and they probably have supercharged characters, or else I did something very, very wrong. Because as soon as I died after getting hit twice by the first monsters I saw, I said, I don't think I want to spend any more time.
I mean, these lot are kicking ass, man. They're properly kicking ass.
Yes, they are. Right.
Yeah.
Good thing to notice. Too.
It is also the video that sells the game on Steam.
Well, exactly.
So it's going to be better than what.
All right, that's all I have to say about the dumb game.
Anyway, I've been playing Crackdown 3, mate. Hey, mate. Hey, mate. Mate.
Is it like video game crack?
You've got any fucking Crackdown 3 for you, mate? Come on, mate. I'll be your best mate. Come on. So I've been playing that. And I finished it.
Wow.
Hey, that was fast. Or I guess that was intense because you put in a lot.
You brought down the evil empire, did you?
It wasn't a long playthrough, Eric, which you
Let's
just
play. Guess the game that Chinny's played and finished this week.
In 2 hours.
So I probably played it for 6 hours.
All right, that's not bad. That's what you expect.
No, I expected
it's
more.
It's what you expect from Crackdown. What do you expect? Some in-depth, long-ass story.
Like 6 or 7 years for this game, though.
Yeah. No, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It didn't take me long.
Were they a very enjoyable 6 hours?
No. So I've gone on the screen now. a video that's comparing Crackdown 1 to Crackdown 3 side by side. And yeah, I mean, it is slightly better looking, Crackdown 3, but Crackdown 1 has aged very, very well. And when I wanted to go back and look at Crackdown 1 and just kind of look at, what made Crackdown 1 fun. And remember, one of the achievements, Stu, for Crackdown 1 was to juggle a car with a rocket launcher.
It was car juggler achievement. That's what it was called.
You can't do that. And yeah, you can't do that on the way the cars explode. There's a lot more of a playgroundy feel to the first Crackdown, right? Whereas the physics seem to be a little bit more wilder. The characters seem to ragdoll. You can't do any of that with Crackdown 3. The world doesn't feel very interesting to run around, and it's kind of stripped away all the kind of like the randomness of the physics. And what you're left with...
I'm sorry to interrupt, but just looking at the difference between the first and the third one here on this side-by-side video, you've got the guy's ass is a lot more pronounced in Crackdown 3.
Well,
I'm definitely interested
in Crackdown 3, it is Terry Crews's ass in Crackdown 3.
Yeah, well, it's a nice-looking ass.
And as one thing, there's many things we love about Terry Crews, how much he speaks out about sexual harassment, how great of an actor he is, how good of a dad he is, but also how fucking fine his ass is also a factor.
Fine ass.
He's got a fine ass. And Terry Crews is a man that I'm attracted to as a straight man. He's just a very attractive man.
Anybody's attracted to him.
But so when you take all the kind of mad physics out, I mean, on the surface, Crackdown 3 kind of looks like it's got like loads of like mad physics, but it doesn't really. Like the cars don't fly like they used to. It just doesn't really have that playground feel. So what you're left with is basically an open world platformer with a really boring shooting mechanic. That's what you're left with. To finish the game, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's about 6 or 7 bosses, something like that, to kill. And that you just need to kill them and like kill their. To get to them, you need to like blow up some bases that they control. So you either it's like the chemical guy or the person who looks after the railway system for some reason. And then you kill them, and then you get to like a higher tier, and it takes very, very little time to do. The only reason that I found that it was any fun, the only shining beacon about Crackdown 3 is that I played it in co-op, and in co-op it was enjoyable. Right, I would be pissed if I bought Crackdown 3 for £40, £50, $60, whatever it is. But we don't live in that economy anymore. So if you are a Game Pass holder, then it's a nice bonus, right? It's a kind of like, hey, it's something to dick about with. It's thanks for joining the service, but I think Microsoft have to kind of step up their game in terms of the exclusives they offer, but also just.
This is not going to sell consoles.
This ain't going to sell consoles. It's a nice to have, but it ain't a game changer.
I mean, in retail wise, it's already heavily discounted.
It should
I've seen it as low as £25 this week somewhere.
It should be.
To actually purchase.
It should be. It would be criminal to sell this game for £40. I'd be really, really annoyed if I bought it full price. So not much to say about it. The ending isn't anything spectacular or anything like that. There's nothing really interesting to say about like what happens at the end and the story and anything like that. It's all very crap. The only good thing about the Crackdown story was at the end of the first one, you find out that you're the bad guys. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that, but I'll take your word for it.
And they never acknowledge that. Because
you're back to being the good guy in this game.
Yeah, you're back to being the good guy. The driving is awful. It doesn't do that thing where you get in.
First one.
No, well, you get in. The cool thing about the driving in the first one is you get in a car and then it transforms live. It goes.
Yeah, it's like Transformers, man. Depending on your
it
level,
doesn't do that now. What happens now is you get in a car and you press like left or right on the D-pad and it'll transform, but it's not as cool. You do have a car that can go up a wall, but it's kind of like, I haven't really thought about what I'm going to say next, but driving a car up a wall in Crackdown 3 is kind of like playing snooker with a rope.
Yeah, that's a weird comparison, but I think I understand what you mean.
Or pool as a rope with a rope. It would be. It's awkward, difficult to do, and you start questioning why you're even doing it in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, in the original Crackdown, you could only do that when you'd fully maxed out your driving skills, couldn't you? That was when you could drive up a building.
Well, you can do it fairly quickly in this, but it's not. It's nothing to brag about. So Crackdown 3 is a no from me, and won't even be put on the most disappointed of the year.
I didn't even rank on that.
No, because like I'm not disappointed. I'm not that surprised, to be honest. I'm more kind of just. I suppose biggest shock that this shit award. Do you know what I mean? Like I thought it would be better than this. Yeah.
Wow.
We're gonna make up our own awards this year.
We do now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame because, but then again, it's sort of they should have just left it alone. You know, just leave us with the memories of the original Crackdown and don't bother trying to remake
it. I think so.
it.
I just, yeah. I mean, when you look at how many open world games, there's a lot that the first Crackdown did that was such a new cool thing. To have an open world game in co-op was new in 2007.
Oh yeah.
To have a game where you could have RPG elements in an open world like a GTA game was new. To jump around like a superhero was new. To have the lock-on system was quite new. So it was like, I don't know, there was doing things in the first Crackdown that was really unique and different. We've moved on from since then, and it's 12 years later, and you know, Crackdown hasn't moved on. It's like. It's just like some, you know, when you go out and you see like a woman who's way too old to be, she hasn't dressed her age, she's dressed like the youths. That's what Crackdown feels like.
That's brilliant. I just think, like from my own personal perspective, I'm looking at some of the physics here. I think some of the physics, like you said, in the original Crackdown were better. You know, when you have a mass blow up of cars, there were just like literally bits everywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas in 3, it just doesn't look as impressive somehow. I don't know. I just feel like, is this the best Microsoft have got to offer as an exclusive game?
They need to step it up, definitely.
You know, and I know I don't want to sound like some sort of Sony fanboy here, and I don't. But when you're comparing this against something like God of War, for instance, it's just...
I mean, the exclusives are obviously better on the PS4. I don't know anybody who's arguing that at this point.
Yeah, but they need to be looking at that. I know they want franchises, and I know they want familiarity, and I know they're trying to...
personally offended by the people at Microsoft. Like, what are you doing? Why aren't you dealing with this?
Yeah, and I know, you know, they're into this family-friendly whatever, but they need to just sort of start thinking about the gamer again.
They just need to make something that fucking is cool and good.
Yeah, they do. They need to make something bloody cool.
Make something cool.
New and unique. You know what I mean? Something that we haven't seen before. That's what they're lacking. There's no originality anymore, is there?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. We're done. Right. I guess it's spinny wheel time again.
Spinny wheel.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that's me.
That's you. Spinny spin.
Right. Let's do that. Do and then do.
Get that wheel spinning. Spin those wheels.
You don't have to fill in. It's fine. Right. Okay. Spinning the wheel. And it is Eric. You're up, Eric.
Oh, snap. How about me? I thought you were doing. I guess that was you saying I'm going to spin the wheel. So I played another demo for a game called Hamsterdam.
That sounds fun. Hamsterdam.
Is this why I picked the games with the weirdest name demos?
No, I went looking through the demos and I picked the games that look like they could be the best ones.
Okay.
And before I get to this game, let me explain that anybody who's ever watched The Wire knows the name Hamsterdam because that's the name of the region in Baltimore where one particular police colonel decides to do a small-scale experiment in drug legalization. So there's that.
Mm.
But that doesn't have anything to do with this game other than the name being the same.
No.
This game is a what do we call it? It's like a side-scrolling action beat 'em up for kids.
Okay.
And if that sounds appealing to you, Hamsterdam is really not your game.
Piece of shit.
Because it's kind of a piece of shit.
It actually looks quite funny. I'm looking at it here.
Design is good. Like the graphics are solid. And the gameplay actually starts out not too bad. You have to beat people up. You have to, you're supposed to use a controller. So you X to beat them up. And then you use the left stick to go toward them. And then that does like a flinging move where you throw the person around. But that's all the game is, over and 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 over. So it lost the fun element really fast. And even though it looks good and some of the mechanics are solid, nevertheless it got so it's like a clicker game, where you just keep hitting the cookie button or whatever it is. Like that's all it is. And there's really no strategy after you master hitting X and then, moving toward wherever the person is on the screen to do the drag fling move or whatever it is. I don't know. The game showed a couple of different parts to it.
Is it for kids?
I think, but I didn't get to any of these things. Maybe they're later in the demo, or maybe they're not.
Yeah, we're just looking. There's like some sort of platforming level on what looks like a skateboard or something.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't
have a scooter.
And you know what? It's possible that, again, like maybe I gave up too fast, and the fact that you have to beat up 20 people using the same 2 mechanics over and over again just got so dull for me. Maybe I jumped ship too soon. Maybe it is a lot more fun if you stick with it. But I wanted this to be better than it was because it looks like it has a lot of potential. The art style is really good, but the gameplay.
The animations looks really, really good as well. Yeah. I must admit.
The game is dull as dishwater.
How funny is that?
Oh dear.
It looks very stylish, but obviously isn't.
It is. No, it is stylish. It's just the gameplay is just one note. It's just you're like sitting at a grand piano and all you can do is hit C# over and over again.
Wow. So, I like that. It's a good analogy. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't look great.
Oh,
no,
thumbs
it does
down.
not.
Damn.
Oh, not doing too well on the demo so far. Maybe the last one will be the one.
Well, there's one more to go, so come back, people. You'll see. Maybe.
Right, spin the wheel, Chinny.
Oh, fuck. I closed the window.
You just got done putting Hamsterdam up.
For the wheel.
Hamsterdam.
Go.
Enjoy
the audio from us trying to figure out how to get Stu to stream last week.
Oh yeah.
Those were just the bits that I kept.
You sort that out with me, Chinny.
That bit out, what I can do, I'm actually working on redoing the graphics on the stream, and they're going to be even cooler than they are now, right? So like things are going to move. These characters to my left, they're going to move. They're going to move these characters.
Like animated?
Animated. Can you believe that?
God. You hear that, people? If you're not listening, if you're not watching us live, you're getting like a third of the experience.
Well, yeah, we have. Yeah. Right, here's the wheel. I'm spinning it now. Spinning it with the dancing shark, and it's Stuart. You win, Stu.
Yes. Right, I finished yet another game this week.
Oh my God!
So not only did I finish God of War. But surprisingly, Deltarune was kind of released without anybody knowing. It was kind of just came out of nowhere.
It's the game that Shinny's played and finished this week.
What is it? Delta game?
Deltarune, which is made by the same developer that made Undertale.
Oh, God. Stop.
Whoa. Don't you dare.
Tale is dumb.
You've not even played it, have you?
Yes, I did. What are you talking about?
Did, yeah.
Yeah. Did you do the pacifism though? Like, did you do the pacifist ending?
That game is weak.
It's not weak. It's you that's weak for not
understanding.
Tell me
about
how this game is.
Tell me about Deltarune and why should I give a shit?
So, well, first of all, it's free, so that's always a good selling point.
I'm loaded, Stu. I don't care about.
So you don't have to pay. It's very clever. I liked it a lot.
I'm very clever. Look, what else?
The combat involves mainly trying not to fight.
What kind of game is it? Let's start with that. Jesus Christ.
It's a 8-bit RPG sprite game.
Okay.
Made in RPG Maker.
Okay.
basically. It has no relationship to Undertale apart from the style. It's set in a different.
And the fact that you're not supposed to fight, and the fact that it's a
the mechanics are the same, but it's a different story, different characters.
And the twist is,
it's a much bigger pill.
Set in a new place, so it's all new apart from that. And it's
big rabbit cat's house.
It's chapter 1.
Oh, is it episodic?
Apparently, it's looking that way.
Right. Okay. And give me an example of it being clever. Like, try and sell me that. Ignore Duke is a lost cause, right? Just ignore Duke.
For instance, now
try and sell me on the game.
As you can see at the beginning, you're doing like a character creation.
I've done that 100 times. Why should I care?
Because it goes, yeah, you can't choose who you want to be in a game. Are you mad? This is who your character is. So it chucks all that shit out the window.
Okay.
So it lets you spend all this time creating your character and naming it and doing all this stuff. And then just goes, I don't know why you spent all that time because you can't have that.
This is a great thing for a video game to do. Get you to do a thing and then
funny, though.
It's useless. What is wrong with you?
It's just
you know what I like the game is wasting my time.
It's not though because it's funny.
You and I have a very funny way. This is exactly the same sort of thing I did not find funny in Undertale.
Yeah, well, that's because you've no sense.
I think you've got to accept that this ain't for you, Duke.
Yeah, this just.
But the thing is,
it depresses me how many people love it.
I know, but you've got to let Stu talk about it. Otherwise, if he doesn't, then he's gonna just hound you forever about how you didn't.
No, he knows not to try to push this shit on me.
I ain't pushing no shit on you because you don't appreciate it.
So what else does it do, Stuart?
It's like Duke. That you give somebody who has nothing, no idea about food, something with truffle on, and they don't understand that it's truffle, so they don't appreciate the truffle.
I don't understand what you're talking about. But
or you could say, oh, it's like giving kale to someone who doesn't know good food, and you're like, hey, wait, kale sucks. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter that I don't know good food. I know food. I taste it because kale's disgusting.
I
went to a really posh restaurant, and they asked, we had kale crisps. All right, and I thought they would be like nice crisps, but it was just fucking kale, and I was like, it was crispy kale, and I was really upset about it.
As you should be. That's a horrible thing to do to a guest in a restaurant.
It's the kind of place where they don't serve things on plates; they serve them on hooks. Do you know these restaurants? Like they just put it on a hook and all that. It was too fancy for me.
They're almost too cool for their own good.
Yeah. It's like, we don't want our food to touch the surface. We want it to hang. I'm like, whatever. Okay.
Pretentious.
Talking about pretentious. Deltarune. So, like, I saw...
It's not pretentious at all.
Oh, stop it.
It's
clever and funny, but you got to admit this.
I saw the cat. There's a character in there. I've seen that character in Undertale, I'm sure.
Yes, the mum. The mum, it looks like a character from Undertale. It does.
Okay.
It's just, it's whimsical. There's a good word for it. It's just kind of cute and kind of clever, and I just like it. I just think it's clever. I mean, I did it in like 2 sittings. It's about 3 hours long, so it's not crazy.
So, Stu, I'm going to ask you a very careful question.
Okay.
And I want you to give me a very careful answer. Think about what I like. Okay. Think about your history and your track record with this question. Do you recommend that I play it? Think about it before you answer.
The reason I'd say no or not to is because
that's correct.
Because you've got to read a lot. You know, everything's written dialogue.
Brilliant.
That's it. That would be the reason.
I like the fact that it took us a while. It took us about 10 years. But we got there, Stu.
For anybody out there, though, who wants something a little bit different and not usual stuff that you play all the time, and it's just a little bit of a departure, and I just liked it. It's just,
tell me about the story, Stu. What happens briefly?
So, the little lad, there you go to school.
Yeah, little lad,
like with the monsters. So you're in a school for monsters, but you're a human.
Okay.
And basically, you get partnered with Susie, who you'll see in a minute, and the teachers run out of chalk, so you've got to go and look for some chalk for her.
Okay.
With Susie.
Duke. I'm Duke.
This is a setup.
I'm politely putting you aside. I know you're angry, Duke. I know.
Now it turns out the reason there's no chalk is because Susie ate it all.
All right, I'm not going to be on this show anymore. I don't know if I can do this.
No. No, come back, Duke.
Shush. Right, so Susie ate all the chalk. So you go to the storeroom to find more chalk, but then it turns into a bit of a Narnia trip. So you go in the storeroom and end up in another realm.
Okay.
Hang on a second. Wait. I actually have a question. I'm not trying to be a jackass here.
Okay.
There's no chalk in the classroom.
Yeah, she runs out of chalk.
So the student goes looking for chalk in the storeroom.
Correct. Yeah. She goes, go get me chalk.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
What's your problem, Duke? It's chalk. What is your problem? It's just chalk.
Kids don't go looking through the store.
Why not?
Because they take stuff. It's like these people have never even seen a school before.
You work in a school full of thieves.
Okay.
I work in a school to keep the supplies locked up because that's what schools do.
Duke. Okay, let's do a writing exercise, Duke. If you needed to get your character, who's a child going to a school, into a storeroom, how would you do it?
I haven't. Look, if it's Narnia, Narnia can be anywhere. You can have anything be the entrance way. Put it in his goddamn locker.
That's a good point.
You've got to climb into the locker. It's easier to go
this baffling, perplexing paradox.
It's like two lines. She goes, "Get me chalk." You go with Susie. Susie's eating the chalk. You go to the storeroom and end up in another realm.
If a teacher told any kid, hey, go get chalk from the store, the kid would say, why don't you go fuck yourself? Get your own fucking
To
chalk.
be fair, the school that I went to,
What school do you work in?
the school that I went to, if a teacher told me, yo, Mike, give me a chalk, I'm like, fuck that. I ain't gonna get No.
This is obviously a nice school, unlike your two schools.
Get your chalk. You're the teacher. It's part of your job to get the supplies ready.
I'll get the chalk. You do my homework, you little bitch.
But anyway, here's the thing. It's kind of a redemption arc. Do you see what I did there? You see, you'd like that redemption. Because Susie's like a badass who's just like the school bully who wants to beat everybody up and rip their faces off.
Is Susie this kind of like goth horse-looking woman?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So obviously you go on a journey together to escape from this other realm where you've got to save the kingdom and stuff, and it's just kind of funny. And there's some twists and turns along the way, and I don't really want to say too much about it because it's just fun to experience for yourselves.
I'm glad you. I
mentioned it was free. You don't even have to pay.
That is a good thing.
By the way, the music's excellent. The soundtrack is so cool.
EE free, no charge.
Is there a battle system?
There is a battle system.
What is the battle system?
The battle system's kind of interesting because it's RPG turn-based.
Bye.
But listen. But there's an option called act within it. And when you act, you can hug the enemy, or you can say something nice to them.
You can wank them off.
Or that could be an option.
Give them a nice foot rub.
Yeah,
that could be an option. But the act is to try and persuade them not to fight you anymore. And when you don't fight them, there's like a pacify magic spell, so you can then you just sort of disappear from the battlefield.
Do you know when
Look, I'll be honest. I actually think the idea of trying to have a video game where you're not fighting, that's fine. That's a good thing. And that is the one thing about Undertale that I kind of liked. It's the horrible, horrible implementation of it in Undertale that really did my head in.
Respect.
And I don't know, maybe they did it better this time, but I'm not holding my breath.
I don't remember. It's very similar. There's not a whole lot to do. Because basically, when you get attacked, it's like a twin stick shooter. So they have different attacks, and you have to dodge stuff.
That's Undertale too, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same system. You've got to dodge stuff, and if you're quick enough, unlike Duke, obviously, you do all.
Yeah, that was the problem.
You don't get killed so much. But it's good. Really, really good. I loved it. Like I say, it was. Like I say, 3 hours of really great fun and sort of great dialogue, really well written, really good music, decent battle system. I like the battle system. And in Undertale, I screwed it up because I just started killing shit. At the beginning, didn't realize you were meant to do this talking stuff and hugging stuff. So I kind of screwed up the best ending. This also, as far as I'm aware, does have a good and a bad ending depending on how you play it. So
will the next episode be paid?
Well, I don't know. From what I can gather, I've read a little bit about it since, because I didn't even realize I'd heard about it ages ago. So it was a long time. And then I just saw it. It was up on the demos on PS4. But when I've read into it, apparently he's looking to put a team together to finish it off. But he wanted to release this first to try and get people on board.
You'd think the maker of Undertale, which was a very successful game, would be able to get some cash money.
Yeah, and like a team together to do it. But it's a one-man band. I mean, it's literally made by one person.
Well, that's fine. I'm not saying
no, but I agree, because it's like if the guy who made Stardew Valley is like, I'm trying to make a game, people would be like diving over themselves to give him money.
Yeah.
You'd think, but maybe it doesn't work that way. I don't know.
Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Maybe it doesn't.
Maybe he needs to take lessons in his own game and hug and wank them off to get money.
Maybe he does. Maybe he does. But anyway, look, give it a go. And like for once, play a WoS game that's free, and you may well find yourself enjoying it for a change.
I played a WoS game, and it was awful. It was called what was it called? Fucking To the Moon, and it was shit.
Say Duke will disagree with you there.
I don't care.
That's true. You're wrong about that one, Chinny.
Well,
game. I mean, not everything about it was great, but it was generally very good. And the story, and that's the other thing. The story was good. The story in Undertale is shit. There's a flower,
this is good. I liked it.
Friend, but it's also this goat that's your mom or something. And it's like wrong stuff. The end. Like, oh, what a fun story that was.
It doesn't matter whether it's a goat or a person. It's about the actual feeling.
You racist.
Yeah, fucking hell. What difference does it make whether it's a goat or a person?
The point is, I couldn't tell what was going on in the game, and then there was these skeletons making these jokes that were right out of a 3rd grade book.
Oh, that was well funny, the skeleton part. What are you talking about?
Fell down. It was too tired.
That's his charm. What's the matter with you? God,
well, you call it charm. I call it annoying 7-year-old.
Bitter and twisted, Duke. That's you.
Oh,
Bitter.
dear.
Yeah, Deltarune. Anyway, look it up on the demos on PS4. I'm assuming it's in the demo section of Steam and demo on Xbox. So whatever, it's in the demo section.
Money. There's that.
Yeah, wasting no money because it's free.
Yeah.
It's free. Chapter 1. Give it a go. People play it. Right, tell you what. People play the game and then send us an email about what you thought about it. Yeah. How about that? There you go. Prove Duke wrong. Go. Duke is wrong because this game is good.
Come on. I believe in y'all.
Usually goes the other way, Stu, you know.
I know, but I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
He's clinging to those 2 times it went his way.
Look, it might go my way again. It's got to happen again at some point.
The law of averages says you're bound to have it.
It does, exactly.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
I'm done on Deltarune.
Yeah.
Cool.
Chinny,
yeah.
I've been playing a new game.
Woohoo!
But it's not new as in new. It's just
new to you.
New to me. Yeah. The game is Ass Creed Origins.
Oh yeah, so you were streaming this. I
was streaming it. Yes, so my thing this year is to play new games, right? I want to play newer games, but at the same time, there's a little bit of a quiet period, and I'm very, very behind on Assassin's Creed games. So
not as good as I am.
No, well, I've played every one. And up to Origins, so I was like, I need to crack on. And for people that don't remember, that Origins is the one where they sort of took a year off, had a think, and come up with a much more sort of fleshed out Assassin's Creed. So what does that look like? Well, I'll tell you. It's huge. The game is massive, and that feeling you get when you look at a map for the first time and then you zoom out. And you go, it's pretty big, and then you zoom out, and you go, oh, it's actually
again.
And you zoom out, and you're like, fucking hell! Like that Assassin's Creed Origins has that. It's an absolutely gigantic game. You play as Bayek, and you're in Egypt, fanning around.
Just a bit. Whoa! Did you just say you play as Bayek? As in Yorkshire.
His name is Bayek. Yes.
Yeah.
Bayek.
That's very
lad, it's great.
It's also a 2-year-old joke that other people were making when the game came out. So,
I'm sure they were.
Yes. So you play as Bayek. You're basically a policeman in Egypt, right? You kind of like belong. I can't remember the name of the police, but they're called something. And Bayek is, you're gone for a while and you come back and everybody's like, fucking hell, Bayek's back. Bayek. And you're like, yeah, I'm back, no worries. And you got to kill a few people, right? That's basically what I'm doing. You ride a camel. It's cool. It looks like an Assassin's Creed game. It feels like an Assassin's Creed game. But the combat is completely different to other Assassin's Creed games.
I played this at Chewies. I wasn't that impressed. I didn't like the new combat scheme.
So the new combat system is very much, so I'm told, like Dark Souls. So you've got a light attack and a heavy attack, and I feel like what they've trying to do with it is make up the stakes of the combat, right? So when you're fighting somebody, it's a little bit more difficult for you to sort of master a crowd. I mean, I used to love Assassin's Creed 2 when you had like 50 blokes around you, right? And you just, one of them would go for you.
Such a badass.
Yeah, I love that. And I honestly, since Brotherhood, I've really, so I feel like the combat's gone downhill ever so slightly, like not massively, not to a point where it's like it's made me like notice it. But I'm struggling with Origins. Origins is a weird game because a lot of people have a lot of positive things to say about it. And then when I put on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, saying I'm playing Assassin's Creed Origins, and I got like very mixed opinions of Origins. I got people saying that Odyssey was way better, Origins was crap, or Origins and Odyssey my favorite Assassin's Creeds ever. You know what I mean? Like, and then people going Origins was terrible, and complete like wrong. So it's a very divided game. I think generally it's good, right? It's a lot more polished than the other Assassin's Creed games. It's way more fleshed out. I feel like the Assassin's Creed games were going through like a rinse and repeat formula, whereas this does feels like a game where they spent 2 more years on it. Do you know what I mean? It's just got a lot more in it, which is good.
See, that's what started to bug me about some Assassin's Creed games, is that it felt like, okay, you have sea shanties to go chase down, and now there's things on the walls you have to decipher, and now there's these there's those things you have to collect, but maybe they're not just adding more things like that.
No, it doesn't really feel like there are definitely things like that, but I suppose what they add is a lot more fleshed out. So, for example, I came across this weird like stone thing, right? I don't know what it was, a couple of stones or something. And then spoilers, your son's dead. You find out at the start of the game, and
I was going to play it. I'm not going to bother.
Your son's. I won't tell you how he died, but he died. And he's dead.
That's fine then.
So your son's dead. It's pretty clear that your son's dead, and you have some cutscenes, and then you find this stone in the middle of the desert, some sort of stone formation, and then a cutscene plays out, and then it turns out like you used to sort of. No, you made a promise to your son that you would find a lot of these stones across the world. So it's basically a collectible, right? You just have to find these stones. But when you find them, you have to match them up to a constellation in the sky. So what I'm getting at is it's another collectible, but they've fleshed it out a lot more, and they've given it a cutscene and a story, so it feels like it's a little bit more worthy of like, hey, this is cool. This seems a bit different. Again. The other thing I like about it is that no matter where you finish in your mission, right? You do a mission, you're done. You press back to go on the map, or on the PlayStation, you press the big fat button at the top, and you look at the map, and there's always something to do right next to you. That's the cool thing about this, is because it's so massive, and they've obviously planned it out in a way where it's like, hey, like, we know that you're going to want to do something. I mean, you can stick to the main quest, but that means you have to ride, but we know that like you'll probably will want to do these side missions, and the ranking up is really visible, very easy it communicates it very well to you. It's not difficult to understand, even because I like it when it's really easy to get. Do you know what I mean? Just easy to. I know how much points I've got.
You shouldn't have to spend a lot of time deciphering what the different symbols and things mean.
Yeah, there's none of that. You know, I do like The Witcher 3. I don't want to bring up The Witcher 3, but like I feel like The Witcher 3 sort of got lost a bit like that. You know, and Skyrim was very good at it, for example. So like, you know, you kind of knew what you need to unlock. It was very clear, the paths and stuff. So the game translates and communicates to you very well, its XP system. But I'm not loving it. I don't know what it is. I like the character. I don't mind the setting. Egypt is a little bit boring for me, but I'm not loving it. The combat, I struggle with the combat so much, and there's bows and arrows in the game, and I never really quite liked them. I don't know. There's something that it's just. I suppose my thing is I heard so much positivity about Assassin's Creed Origins that I just kind of assumed that it would be like an instant hit for me, and it's not. And I think because we're in a post Red Dead Redemption 2 world, and I don't want to bring up Red Dead Redemption 2 too much.
Oh, you just did that, didn't you?
But honestly, Stuart, what did you say when you play a game that fucking good, right?
It's true.
And it was like 7 years in development, and everything is polished, and when you have like a camp that is so alive and vibrant and full of character and full of
life.
life.
Let's not lose our minds here.
Yeah, you need to play more, right? So like,
you don't know because he's only played like an hour.
Yeah, he played like two minutes of it. So that when you have these characters that you actually start to like and remember their names, and then when you walk in a crowd or through a village in this game, it's that usual kind of everybody looks like robots walking around a town. Do you know what I mean? And like none of it feels alive, and it's just tough. It doesn't have that level of polish that Red Dead Redemption 2 had. And when I've played Red Dead Redemption 2 already, it's kind of hard to like. Oh, it's a shame that it doesn't have that, but it's still good. I think that's just my issue with it. Like it's just not as like. I was expecting it to be this mega polished thing where it's just for me. It's just a really good Assassin's Creed game, which is good, still good, but I was expecting more, I think. So I think my problem with it is what I expected from it.
You can't go back, man. Oof, that's the trouble.
I have a lot of people consistently say that Odyssey is better. I don't know why, but I'm going to persevere. It is good though. This Assassin's Creed Origins does the thing that what Red Dead Redemption 2 does, and Red Dead 2 got a load of shit for it. Do you know what this game does? You get on a horse, you press and hold A, and then you fucking go automatically to your marker, and you just put the controller
I remember
down.
that from the demo. I remember
And
that.
everybody gave Red Dead 2 fucking loads of shit for that, and this game did it. And I've never heard anybody talk about it on this game. No one.
Why do people not like that?
I like it because I just can't be asked to ride the fucking horse.
Yeah, but why would people not like that? I mean, it's not. It's presumably optional, right?
Like the thing that, like Red Dead 2 was like meant to be one of these amazing games, right? And people are like, oh, I spend more time watching it than I do playing it. That was the criticism. But like this game does it. Like I don't know. I just thought it was weird. I was shocked that it was in this game when everybody moaned about it in Red Dead 2. It's almost like Red Dead 2's on this platform and everybody's ready to knock it down really, really quickly. Whereas that Assassin's Creed doesn't really get that because there's been bad ones,
I was going to say, I think at the time when this came out, though, they'd had the year off, and everyone was like, "It's the start of the great Assassin's Creed." So I think people weren't really looking for negatives.
No,
they wanted to love the game because obviously, it was back.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
it's better and bigger and.
It's good.
Cool.
I mean, it is bigger. Yeah, it is just it's just a bigger, more fleshed out Assassin's Creed game. So it's not. To me, it's not anything like spectacularly different. And the only thing I'll say about it is, we got a new follower on Twitch, Ken Kennig. But the only thing I would say is that what was I going to say? I was going to say Ken Kennig. You put me off.
Lost your train of thought.
No, you can climb anything. Remember in Assassin's Creed games, especially about Assassin's Creed 2-ish, sometimes some towers were a puzzle. Remember, like, there was a bit of a puzzle. Like, how do I get up this? And you have to look for this. You can. There's a sex scene going on in the Assassin's Creed Origins at the moment. You can basically climb any rock face, any building. There's no. Like, if you see a cliff, you can just climb up it. It's a bit Zelda like that. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a bit like Spider-Man as well. And in Spider-Man, you could just get up anywhere.
Yeah, so it
didn't really matter.
There's no limitations really to like how high you can climb. So. Anyway, I'm going to turn the screen off because I haven't played this. This is exactly where I'm at in the story, so I want to turn that off.
You don't want to see the sex scene again? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm going to see that privately. So Assassin's Creed Origins, okay. I'll keep going, but, it's all right.
Do that.
It's all right. Right, I can't even remember if you'd spun the wheel, who was next, or whatever. I can't remember.
Well, Duke, have you got any games left?
I got one.
Okay, well, I don't have anything else left.
No, I said I got one more.
No, well, yeah, no, I'm leaving you in the wheel, Duke. Don't worry, it's fine.
You're in the wheel, Duke.
So I'm taking myself out because I have nothing else to talk about.
He's out of the wheel. You're in the wheel.
Eric, you're up.
Okay, how about that? I could have just gone. Anyway,
You got to do the wheel.
I didn't mention that I'm still plugging away on Far Cry New Dawn, and hey, guess which character that everybody hates from Far Cry 5 has come back?
The father.
It would help if I knew.
I don't know why they had to bring him back, but there's this New Eden area, and you wander around it, and there's these like pink fires everywhere, and he's like murmuring things in the distance, and the audio mixing isn't good, so you can't really tell what he's saying, but you can tell it's supposed to be like, I have shepherded the flock out of blah 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 blah. Shut up, nobody cares. So whatever. The game is still awesome. I'm really having fun with it. My companion these days is this old woman named Nana who's really good at sniping. So
nice.
I have a sniper at my back who's an old woman.
Cool.
Yeah, so New Dawn is awesome.
Still enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm really liking it. The other game that I'm going to talk about is called Dragon Bell.
Okay.
Again, there's no footage of this on the internet, so you should use the Steam thing.
There's no video on the Steam thing.
Is there not?
No, it's just images.
I thought there was a video. Oh well. You know, you're right. There is just images.
Wow.
Well, I can explain that.
I think we need a new jingle, which is, guess what obscure demo Duke has played and finished this week.
Oh, but I didn't finish any of these, and I didn't finish this one either.
Piece of
Jesus,
it sucked. This was actually probably the most enjoyable of the three, which is not saying much. This is you play as a bell, and you have a clapper, like, the little stick in a bell that hits the side. That's your weapon, and you jump around, and that's the whole game. It's a platformer, and you have to squish worms, and then other worms come out of the stalagmites and stalactites that you're jumping around.
Wow.
And it's really boring, and it's hard to tell where you're supposed to go. And the graphics aren't amazing. I mean, they're not bad, but they're not really great. And it's not worth your time.
No.
Hey, I'll tell you what, the developer's rather apt. Have you seen what the developer's name is?
No.
Zero Fun.
Yeah, well, that's not true. This is about...
Are they being ironic? I don't know.
This is 2% fun. There's a little tiny bit of
2% fun.
Not much.
Wow.
Hey.
I've never come across a game where we have no footage, and there's no footage on Steam.
I tell you, it's really weird, but it's not. It's just I mean, the graphics again, like they took time to make. Certainly the house where you start off.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of interesting.
There's
looking,
effort there. There's art.
Yeah, but when you go down into the actual caverns or wherever you are, it's just dull, and the gameplay's boring. And I even beat the first boss. Actually, no, I did finish this demo, I guess. How about that? You're right, Stu. Yes. But it was just so blah.
So it's no Unravel, is what you're saying.
It's definitely not Unravel, and it's not even what's a mediocre platformer?
I don't know. Super Meat Boy.
No, that's a very good. Anyway, this is thoroughly dull and not worth your time, even for the demo, which is free.
I was going to say Bubsy, but no, Bubsy's like really bad. Really bad.
You'd have been better playing Awesome P. Totally play Awesome P.
This is kind of Owlboy-ish. This is not even as good as Owlboy.
Owlboy's good.
Don't kill him. Why did you have to roll him up?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Ugh. First you're dissing Undertale, now you're dissing Owlboy. I think you need to go and wash your mouth out with soap and water. God.
So that's me done for the week.
I've played 2 more games.
Ooh.
The first one, I thought it was time. I bought one of these PlayStation Vita things like years ago.
Right.
And I was like, I wonder if there's any decent games on there that I should play, because I'm on a holiday in a few weeks, and I'm like, I should take this with me. Then I've got something to play while I'm away. What games can I get for this?
Buy a Switch.
Yeah, I can't be bothered spending more money when I don't need to. So
says the man who bought 2 different VR headsets.
Shit, I sold one of them for more than I paid for it, so that's always a Brucey bonus.
Investment.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so
I think I'll buy another VR headset.
So I downloaded a game off the PlayStation Store called Muramasa Rebirth.
Okay.
Which is a side-scrolling RPG action. You'll be pleased to know, Chinny. So there isn't
I've heard of Muramasa, yeah.
There isn't any sort of turn-based shit going on in this game.
It looks a little bit wazzy, a little bit weird.
It is wazzy. It's Japanese.
But this combat is selling me.
Awesome. It's freaking awesome.
Does look good.
I cannot get enough of this game.
Oh wow.
What's really cool? What's so cool about this game is, in a traditional RPG, you level up, don't you?
Sure.
You
level up.
Which you do in this game, right? And in this game, when you level up, you just get more health and stuff.
Of course.
But the real way you level up is by unlocking better swords.
Right.
And by God, some of the swords are just so
No, you
awesome.
missed. You should Bayek. You should have said Bayek.
I should have said Bayek. The swords are freaking awesome. But yeah, they all have their own unique attacks. The story's a bit meh, it's the usual Japanese revenge thing. You've been taken over by some evil spirit who's out for revenge. And he's taken over this. While I'm playing as a girl, there's two stories, so there's a girl and a boy. So I'm playing as a girl character.
Okay.
And it's just brilliant. It's a little bit sort of Metroidvania in so much as you could, you just saw him like break that barrier there.
Yeah.
Well, you can only break those when you unlock a better demon sword. So you're kind of an evil spirit who sort of gets these swords that take over you, so that you become so like enraptured by the sword that you become evil as a result of using it more often.
If you use is the evil spirit responsible for rain as well?
I think it is. I wish this evil spirit would get rid of the rain. It's very JRPG in so much as there's a lot of random encounters as you're going through the maps.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind them because there's such a variety in enemy that you fight, and they kind of all have their own like unique patterns and stuff that you've got to learn as you go along. And as you sort of progress through the game, obviously they get steadily more difficult, and then at the end of every level, there's obviously a boss fight. But it looks beautiful. Like the backgrounds are really nicely drawn. It's really well animated.
Yeah.
Fully Japanese voice acted, so it's all voice acted, but obviously with English subtitles.
Okay.
I just love it. I'm just really enjoying it. And I, like every spare minute when if there's something like I don't want to watch on the TV or whatever, I'll just pick this up and play it for a bit. I just love it. It's just great. Really, really good. It's fairly forgiving on the saves. And it's fairly forgiving. Like if you play on there's Legend or something else, and Legend is the easy difficulty.
Yeah.
So obviously that's how I'm playing the game, because I want to feel like a badass. I want to kick shit up.
Yeah.
Stu, you do that.
I do. Honestly, it's great. The only problem I would say, I mean, this wasn't too bad. It was about 15 quid on PSN. So it wasn't like a crazy amount of money. But if you want to try picking this up as like a physical copy now, it's so expensive. They're you're running into 40, 50, 60 quid.
Damn.
For these games now. So yeah, but well worth it. For 15 quid, if you've got an old Vita and you want something just to take away with you, or just play for a change, it's because it's different to a lot of stuff you'll play on a mainstream full-size console. This is portable, and it's just really, really well done. I think it initially came out on the PS2. So I think it's a fairly old game.
Muramasa.
Awesome. There is some very dodgy dialogue, which is what Chinny said. What is this crap you're playing on the thing? There was a reference to muff diving for some very odd reason.
I saw that on the Twitter.
What I'd love to know is, when whoever did the translation into English was doing the subtitles, is that what was really said in Japanese, or did they just use a bit of artistic license and go, hey, you know what I think he said?
This sounds. Let me just get the gaffer in. Gaffer, this sound like muff diving to you?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I did make me wonder, but regardless of and there is some very quirky dialogue as you go along, and you're like, is that what they really said? But yeah, it's great. Really, really good. Totally recommend it. And it's the combat only uses one button. Well, it uses two. There's one button for the special move of the sword, and then just one button to do all your other combos. but it just does like long and short presses, and it just works so well and so responsive. It's just brilliant. You can deflect weapons when they throw them at you and stuff if you time it right, and it just feels, when something just feels satisfying. That every time I don't even.
It looks satisfying.
It is. I don't even care about the random encounters because it's just so cool to fight stuff in this game.
Muramasa, commonly known as Sengo Muramasa, was a famous swordsmith who founded Muramasa School and lived during some sort of period in Japan.
So it's based on a real life thing. I like that.
Yeah, it's a Muramasa School, which is like, I'm guessing some sort of martial art with swords and shit.
Yeah. And the way the leveling up works, by the way, with the swords, every time you kill a boss, you unlock a new demon blade. But then when you unlock that blade, there's like blades that you can manually unlock yourself underneath it. So it's like almost like a tree of stuff.
There was a Muramasa game on the Wii called Muramasa The Demon Blade, which was released 2009. Trying to do some research on other Muramasa.
Just great. Anyway, I mean, there's not a lot more to say about it apart from it's well worth picking up for 15.
I think this Rebirth might be the Wii version. I think maybe.
I don't know, but it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what else.
It's got a 78 on Metacritic.
I really, really like it.
Cool.
But I have played another very similar type game this week, and I gave this a lot of shit when the demo came out. But you know what? I thought, I should see if I can eat my words. And
my God!
Game.
Wow! I never expected you to go back to this.
I know. Yeah. I should give it a full go, because I like to keep an open mind. And he did get great reviews, so I'm like, well, maybe
Stu, you're a fucking. You know what? Stick to your opinion.
What I'm gonna say is. Yeah, I should mention it's Devil May Cry 5. I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this.
Stu is a sucker for reviews.
Yes, he is.
I'm going to give it a dibble. It's growing on me. Let me put it that way.
Stu, I'm so disappointed in you.
It's growing on me. Look, right, I'll tell you what. I'm still not fully into it. Right? So I'll give the full game a go.
The fact that you play, you know what I mean? Like, I've lost... My respect has lowered.
I'm sorry, but you know what? I should like this game. I like these games.
That is true.
I like beat 'em ups.
That is true.
You know what I mean? Bayonetta is one of my favorite games of all time. I love that game. I still don't think. I think what it is, right? I'm playing this game. When I play Bayonetta, I feel like a total badass.
Mm-hmm.
When she does those finishes where she kicks a high-heeled shoe through the faces at the end of your moves. It just feels satisfying. You're like, that looked awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the problem I have with this is because it's not as forgiving as Bayonetta, shall we say. Bayonetta's quite forgiving. You can still look stylish and cool even if you fuck up a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
In this game, it doesn't forgive you as much. It expects you to be really good at it. Do you know what I mean? And if you get it slightly wrong and your combo stops and then it just doesn't look that cool anymore. And I think that's
not how the original games were, and I haven't played them since 3, but yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing. It just means I should be more skilled at what I'm doing.
The game can be cruel about it, or it can be cool, and I think it's a shame that they made it so unforgiving.
No, let me be honest, right? Let me just be clear. There is an easy mode where if you press, I think it's R3, if you click R3 while you're playing it, it'll let you switch like on the fly. It'll just do the combos automatically for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look very cool, but you're not really doing any of the work.
Yeah.
Which again is fine, but with Bayonetta, I could still do the work and work out the cool combos myself and actually pull them off. And look cool without feeling like a bit of a dick and I was a bit shit at it. And I think that's the problem. But here's the thing though. Here's the thing. So that was my initial experience as I was playing the game. As I'm actually getting better at it, I am enjoying it more and more. And I've switched characters now, so I'm playing as V, which is the weird looking sort of...
He looks like Adam Driver.
Oh, dude. the emo dude in this bit that you watched.
He looks like Adam Driver, you know, the chap from Star Wars. What's his called?
Oh yeah, yes he does.
Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren, yeah.
Yeah, it does look just like him actually.
Mm-hmm.
What I would say is, once I've started playing as him, his combat is completely different.
Right.
So rather than playing as Nero, he's very much like you fight at a distance. So you have like a Black Panther and some sort of hawk thing that you can summon, and they kind of fight on your behalf, and then you have to go in and do the finisher. So when you deplete their health enough, you go and do the finishing moves. Right. And it's way more satisfying than playing as Nero. I really like the style of fighting, so much so that I've been getting quite regularly S ranks and SS ranks playing as V. You know, in the combat, which is like, I'm like, whoa, I'm like fucking kicking ass. So I'm much more enjoying the game at the moment playing as him, but I'm guessing it'll switch again between characters and stuff, which is fine. I'm not sort of as excited as all the reviewers were, you know, who were sort of freaking like, it's the second coming, this is amazing. But I am enjoying it. So I will eat some humble pie and say that it's way more satisfying now that I am starting to get used to it. And the camera, I think they have fixed some stuff. There was quite a big patch on day one, so I think they have fixed some of the camera issues I had with it playing it originally. It does feel smoother. It looks really nice, you know, like environmentally the graphics look really cool.
It's like you're saying the opposite of what you said last time,
Stu. I know. The only thing I would say, I still feel the animations are a bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the way he runs and stuff is just a bit weird, but it is Devil May Cry animations and stuff. That's how he runs, I guess. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, it's growing on me. I'll report back next week once I've played more of it. But I'm a fair way in.
So did you buy it?
Yeah, I bought it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I went out, splashed some cash. It was fairly reasonable. I only paid 40 quid. So it wasn't like crazy 50, 60 quid sort of price range. So yeah, I thought, you know, 40 quid, I'll give it a punt. And I'm so far, I'm not disappointed. You know, it is kind of fun. Like I say, I still feel like I'm not quite feeling the badass that I want to feel at the moment, but maybe that'll come as I get better at it.
Okay.
That's it for me this week.
Never going to trust you again.
I know. Look, it was based on a demo. Look, we are fucking hell. How many times have we got shit wrong from EGX? Do you know what I'm saying?
That is a very good point, actually.
A small snippet of a game. That's terrible.
We got things wrong so often at EGX. I made a video about how I got things wrong.
You did, and that's the trouble with demos, isn't it? Because demos are only such a small amount of game.
I said Cuphead was going to be bad. I said Evolve was going to be good.
Loved it.
I said Aliens Colonial Marines was going to be good.
You're just batting zero, dude.
Yeah.
We are rubbish. Rubbish. But yeah, like I say, like I say, it's just good. Anyway, it's pretty good. There you go. You can't say better than that.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. Right, that's it for games. Are we all done? I think we're all done on games.
I think so, yeah.
Time for news.
Putting news first.
New news lately.
Say, I've got some news.
Someday in the future, but not right now.
I've got some news. Some very exciting news.
Oh, do tell.
No. Which is a new game from...
Whoa, stop.
We heard nothing of what you just said.
I'm sorry.
It sounded like you were playing a joke on us. The news is...
I thought you had a heart attack at that moment.
My phone number is 7...
Judgment, which was known as Judge's Eyes, I think it was, or something like that in Japan.
That's the follow-up from the Yakuza people where you're a judge.
Sort of a spin-off story, if you will, spin-off in the same universe, is out and has got an official release date of June the 25th in the sort of like the West. I nearly said Eastern. That's wrong. In the West, it's got. This is where the interesting stuff gets, though. There is an English soundtrack, so there's like full English language if you want to play in English. There's a Japanese soundtrack if you want to play in Japanese with English subtitles.
Yeah.
And then there's Japanese with English subtitles of the English soundtrack.
What?
So it's like, there's like the original translation from Japanese to English, and then just the English like dialogue as subtitles with Japanese playing. So it's all a bit weird. I'll probably be playing it in the Japanese with the proper translation from Japanese to English. Is how I'll play this game.
Okay.
The story of it sounds so cool. It's kind of you're hunting down a serial killer as like a private detective.
I've got a game for you, Stu. It's called L.A. Noire.
Yeah, well, do you know what? This is going to be better than that because that game was shit.
It wasn't.
It was fucking terrible.
No, it was not.
I remember it just not being
like,
very good.
Fucking terrible is too strong.
It was not the best game ever made, but it wasn't terrible.
I don't know. He just shouted at people.
Yeah, that's what cops do.
So anyway, that's the exciting news this week. So there you go. There's that. Oh, and also there's a rumored discless Xbox coming.
This is starting to sound like news now. It's bothering me.
Yeah. Anyway, no more news. Right, let's do some emails.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we in the bubble bath.
Whoa, that ruled.
Are you bothered about Days Gone, Stu?
No, do you know what? I've been reading. There's been a lot of shit about that out this week because there's been some hands-on demos been available, and people are saying seems to be the general consensus. It's like, let's throw everything at this game. So it's got open world, tick. It's got collectibles, tick. It's got zombies, tick. They say it's almost like they had a checklist of how to make a video game and just like a AAA title and just put everything in it.
Yeah.
So it sounds a bit generic at the moment, but you know what? I'll reserve judgment.
I kind of want it to be good. Do you know what I mean? And PlayStation have such a good track record. I hope it's good. I don't have high hopes, but I hope it's good.
Yeah, so do I. But I don't know whether I'm totally thinking that it's gonna be. I don't know. Maybe this is gonna be the first Duffer they've released in a while as an exclusive.
It might be, yeah. I mean, I think the next game that I'm bothered about. This should be a feature. The game that we're bothered about next, right?
Yeah, bothered about.
I think Division 2 is looking nice.
Yeah, I played the beta for that. I'd forgotten all about that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I didn't play a lot of it, but I played probably about half an hour of it.
Oh, okay.
It was good. Yeah, it was good. It was more of Division,
which is fine.
But set in Washington.
I can't believe I missed the open beta for this. I was so frustrated.
Yeah, I'd forgotten all about that. So yeah, I did play it.
Did you play The Division, Duke? Did you play
the first one? Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, you played loads.
You played it on your own, didn't you?
That's right.
Such a fucking.
I don't need no stinking friends.
So but it's so much more fun.
I did play a little bit with friends, but it's the thing. I'm so particular and not obsessive. That's not really fair, but they want to go a little faster than I want to go. I want to take my time and I want to slowly go down. And then if they
playing with the right people,
you're too slow.
I would let you go at your own pace.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel so self-conscious when it's a team of people. Like if I had a team that I constantly rolled with on co-op games, fine. And if you know what, I should just not care about the story because the stories are never really that interesting.
No, that's true.
I'm always like, wait, what was that cutscene about?
Yeah.
Wait, what was that tape talking about? I'm like, who gives a shit?
Yeah. I mean, that's what when you play co-op, you do lose the story. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But in the Division, no one cares because it's boring.
Well, I shouldn't care because even in New Dawn, I'm like, "Ooh, what's this audio?" And then I listen to the audio because I'm like, "That was stupid. Why did I listen to that? It's not worth my time."
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping for more of the same with the Division, but just less of the like. I felt like the game relied on you getting to level 30 and then going, "Oh, there's a brilliant end game." I'm like, I don't care about any of that shit.
I don't either.
So like,
I felt like it was sectioned off, and I didn't really need to deal with it. I didn't feel like it was on me.
There's apparently more of them, the dark zones now. So there's not just one big one. There's like lots of little.
But see, they got to give everybody what they want. So for you and me, it's like cool encounters where you shoot a lot of people. Yeah. A lot of people, it's the loot. Other people, it's like this is the zone.
I love good like third person combat, right? Like shooter, open worldy stuff. I love a third-person game. So
well, do you know what? You're gonna get plenty of that because it's very smooth.
And I love it. I love a game where I can just play it in co-op, and it's got Division 2's got like cool gadgets, and just adding to that, just like cool little things that you can do. The gadget that I loved was the little kind of bomb that followed people. Do you remember that one? You throw it and it just went. I love that shit. So cool.
Sound did it make?
You're not going to be disappointed, I don't think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played like half an hour. The shooting felt on point. It looks really, really nice.
Right, let's get some emails.
Yeah, emails. Anyway, let's do some emails. First email tonight is off Paul McLaughlin. Paul. Anyway, he says this. Hello, veterans.
Hello. Paul.
Thank you for taking the time in reading out my email on the show, particularly as it centered around the time it took to post the podcast. I was brought up in an era where we were taught not to use profanity or to cuss, as our American friends would say, an era where Mary Whitehouse was a role model.
So fuck you.
Those of you who were not around in the 70s or early 80s, I'm not from the UK, will have to look her up. However,
yourself.
Although I have to admit that Stu's take on my email did give me a certain je ne sais quoi, it still had no effect on the actual speeding up of the podcast releases.
No.
But not being one to quit, I thought I'd give it another go.
Wow.
Dude, you got to know you're not going to win this fight. We've been trying.
The more you do it, the less you're going to win.
That's not true because you could also. That's then in that case the inverse would be true and nobody says anything and you do it, but that's not going to work either.
Yeah, no, it isn't. Come on, guys. Release a podcast fucking sooner. Yet again, I wasted another fucking 2.5 hours of listening to some old shit. Fucking Resident Evil 2 and fucking Tetris. Really? Fucking Tetris? A fucking endless game of clearing endless fucking levels.
Oh, I see what he did. The curse about cursing earlier was to set up this joke of constantly.
You guys really don't give a shit about our time. Waiting for the next fucking gem to be fucking uploaded for this shit. I really can't wait for the next one.
I care about that, but it wasn't ever true.
Yeah. I mean, I really can't, and I expect that when it eventually gets fucking released, it will another fucking quality episode where you will all fucking discuss fucking Microsoft's latest fucking Solitaire and fucking Minesweeper on fucking Windows 3.1.
I think this became planes, trains, and automobiles all of a sudden. I want a fucking car right fucking now.
Exactly. Look, I'd set up a petition, the show, with other listeners who feel the same. But what's the fucking point of getting all the other 3 listeners to join in? As it wouldn't be enough to fill up one yellow fucking post-it note. Now, come on and put some effort in, guys, and release it fucking sooner. I'm certainly not getting any.
I think we put effort into anything. That just shows you don't really know us at all.
We don't put effort in. I'm certainly not getting any fucking younger. That was cathartic. I really shouldn't be complaining about how you lot are wasting my time. As Chinny would say, I waste my time playing stupid fucking video games. I don't know how many hours I've wasted in games collecting Lego gold bricks, red bricks, certain fucking armor, feathers, backpacks, springs, records, cigarette ends, fucking collecting dog shit, etc.
Yeah.
It must be the bloody OCD in me. I can't even seem to stop. Even still doing it, Ubisoft's latest fucking Far Cry 5.9 subtitle, a new fucking rehash. There I go again, flying around the redneck county looking to collect all of Donald Trump's toupees and trying to find
go again on my own.
I'm trying to find that last one neck beard. This leads me to my question of the week to each of you. What games did you start that you initially enjoyed playing but played them for that you ended up not liking them or hating them? Duke, Rocket League doesn't count.
Played them for so long that you ended up not liking them or hating
that you started to hate it. It could be a collectible problem.
It's funny. Shadow of War, I just hit a wall and I didn't want to play it anymore. I don't know why, but the first one I played to death. I 100% and then went back and did half of it again. So I don't really know why Shadow of War didn't do it for me, but I just burned out. I mean, I still have it. It's installed. I do plan to finish it someday. Right before I finish Red Dead 2.
There you go. Chini, what about you? Games that you started and was like, oh God, I've had enough now.
I can't. I'm struggling to think of one, to be honest.
Chini always finishes his games.
I finish everything. Yeah, I'm just so. But there's definitely got to be.
Well, that doesn't mean you got to a point where you weren't just enjoying it anymore.
I think okay. I'm not saying this.
Or hating it.
Yeah, I think. Let me think. The one that pops to mind, which you're not gonna like at all, Stu, is no is Bayonetta.
Okay, no, that's fair enough.
Because I think, I mean, you could attest to this. Like, Bayonetta like constantly pulls the wool over your eyes of when it's going to end.
Oh yeah, the ending does go on a little bit.
Yeah,
it's fair to say.
And I feel like if I played about 3 hours of Bayonetta, I'd probably say that it's a good game now, right? But because like it just went on and on and on and on and on, and I was just like, I don't think I can do this. The other game that I could think of was Recore. Recore.
Oh God, yes.
Is a game that it kind of like it starts well. It's not bad, but then like to finish the boss, you've got to collect these little core things, and it basically just cock blocks you and just says, nah, you're gonna do loads of fetch quests and stuff. Yeah. God, there's lots of them. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it started off. I can't think of any. Oh, there's loads.
I think Mirror's Edge Catalyst suffered this as well, where like it's like a decent. It's decent. The one game that I fucking hated. I mean, I just hated this. That was Homefront: The Revolution. That doesn't count.
God, yeah, you even did a video on that.
Yeah, it does well, that video actually.
It does.
Yeah, I'd say Mirror's Edge and the ones that I mentioned previously. I can't think of anything else. I wouldn't say like I was thinking about Destiny. I wouldn't say I ever hated Destiny. I've never really hated Destiny. I played it and played it and played it. I got to like level 25 or something. So I played it a lot. Like I played it. I don't really think of myself as somebody who's played Destiny a lot, but I suppose in relative.
That's because by comparison.
Yeah, by comparison, who love Destiny. Yeah, I haven't played, but like, I remember playing that to a point where I was just like, you know what, I just can't fucking bother to do this anymore. Like playing it more was a detriment to the game.
Yeah. Do you know? Funnily with Destiny, I stopped playing that as well, but mine was for a different reason, because. Do you remember these loot cave glitches that happened?
Not really.
And I went to one, and with like there was something like 10 or 15 other people there, and spammed it for like an hour and a half just doing that. And then I got to the point where I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I sat here spamming a loot cave just to get better gear
for a game that you don't want to play?
That I'm not that bothered about. I'm just going to stop playing this game.
Yeah, good call.
And that happened. The one that springs to mind for me is the original Assassin's Creed. Because that was a game that when you first started playing it, because it was so fresh and new and looked so cool, you're like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, there was like 3 things you could do, weren't there? And it was like you just had to do them over and over again.
You had to watch somebody on a bench.
Oh,
like pickpocket someone. It was a bit.
And by the end, I hated that game. I didn't manage to finish it. I had to come back to it at a later date, but eventually I did finish it.
Well, I'll tell you a game. Like,
hated it.
Saints Row 4, which I loved. Like, well, I wouldn't say loved, but I thought it was good. Right? Saints Row 3 was good. 2 was my favorite. 4, I was like, this is good. This is basically Crackdown. And then the Gat Out of Hell DLC came out.
That's right, yeah.
And it was I couldn't believe how bad it was. Like I was like, what the fuck is this? And it just like bothered me so much of how bad that game was. I think that's it.
Any for you, Duke, that you can think of?
I said Shadow of War.
Oh yeah. Any others?
In Quiggy Gwig, I feel like I hit a wall, but I don't really know why. I don't think that the length itself, like, it's the thing is like if I get into a game, the length doesn't matter to me. Like I'm gonna keep going with it if I love it, and if I don't, I probably gave up early.
Yeah,
I'm fickle. I'm sort of the opposite of Chinny. Like I'll just stop a game because something new comes along. That's the thing for me. It's always whatever the new thing that comes along, or I have my usual standbys, and I'll go back to Skyrim instead.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't really have that dilemma.
Right. There is some more to his email. He says, mine are number one, Lego Batman 2. I put so many hours of my life into it for the sake of my grandson that if another grandson asks me to play it, I'll end up throwing the controller through the TV screen out of pure boredom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That is funny. Number 2, Rise of the Tomb Raider. OCD again. Hours looking for that one last document or artifact. I don't ever want to see that fucking snow camp again.
You know, it's funny actually that this is coming up because in Far Cry New Dawn, some of the areas you go to, a lot of them actually, have, you know, like, okay, there's 6 springs you got to collect in this area. And for some reason, I'm 100% in all of those. I'm like, I got to get all the springs.
Some games just get you like that. You know, like Assassin's Creed 4 did me like that. You know what I mean? I was just like, I have to get fucking everything in this game.
And I know I can do it. Like, I looked at one walkthrough video and I was like, it was right in front of me. I'm like, what was I thinking? It's crazy.
There you go. Anyway, despite what it says in the email, still enjoying the show and looking forward to Bury, Paul.
Cheers, Paul.
Thanks,
Cheers, Paul. I love that email. I love emails like that. They make me laugh.
Are you going to release the show earlier?
They didn't make him laugh that much.
No.
Yeah, it didn't make me laugh that much. What's the matter with you? Right, next one's from
made him
Duke.
laugh, not made him rethink his assumption.
Yeah, what are you on? Crack or something. Duke's South Dakota neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
And he says this. This is like my grandma wrote it. Dearest veteran gamers. Dearest. Who puts dearest at the beginning of a letter? Anyway. Duke, on last week's show, you explained to Stu that the reason you keep trying these Minecraft lookalikes is that you are hoping to find a game that has a perfect blend of base building and quests stroke story. A game where you can go and do a mission or a quest and come back to your home in the game and build.
Yes.
I just wanted to say that sounds like a wonderful game. And someday I hope that you find it.
Yes.
Stuart, are you thinking about trying out Subnautica Below Zero? It's a sequel to the game Subnautica. If you remember,
I thought you were going to talk about Subnautica. How did I know that?
Was that game that has the perfect blend of base building and quest stroke story. The game where you can go and do a mission or a quest, then you come back to your home in the game and build. Anyway, I was just curious.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt here. I can't believe I forgot to mention this last week. I just out of nowhere, I just feel the need to amend something I said earlier. The game needs to be above the water. I don't want it to be underwater, okay?
Oh, come away, man. What is the matter with you?
I'm just kidding. That's not why I haven't played it.
I know it isn't. Anyway, I was just curious if you were looking forward to diving back into the depths of Below Zero. I need to go back. I do like Subnautica, and I do really enjoy it when I play it. So I do need to go back and play some more of that. I love that game. And you do need to play it.
I know.
Simple as. Anyway, Chinny, I've been playing the shit out of Welcome to the Gungeon lately, and this game just screams Mike Chin to me. Have you ever looked into this game or given it a spin?
I have, actually. Let me just Welcome to the Gungeon. Yes, I have seen this, and not the first person to recommend this. I don't know. I'm wary about these types of games. Why does it go on to say why me?
No, he doesn't really. He just finishes off by thanks for the show, boys. So there you go.
Yeah. So is it Enter the Gungeon, not Welcome to the Gungeon?
Well, there's Welcome to the Gungeon here, but I know there's an Enter the Gungeon. I just assumed this was another spin-off from it or a sequel or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he does mean Enter the Gungeon.
I think it's Enter the Gungeon. Yeah, Jamie at work was playing this, and I asked him about it, and he said it was great and all that. I don't know. Like, to me, it kind of looks like an old school, RPG, Link to the Past kind of stuff, and I don't really play those types of games. I don't know why.
I saw a game lately that I think you would really enjoy, Ginny.
Go on.
I actually thought of you when I saw it. Ape Out.
Yes, yeah, I've heard of Ape Out. I tried to play it for this week's show.
I saw it and thought, this definitely has Chinny written.
No, I think I want to play that. Yeah, it's funny you say that.
And Duke potentially. I would have said.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy Ape Out for the Switch.
Yeah, I could just totally see you playing this.
Yeah, it looks cool. But no, I haven't tried Enter the Gungeon. Maybe I should give it a go. I just haven't thought about it. Is it on the Switch? I would play it on the Switch.
Possibly. It sounds like the sort of game that might be.
Yeah, because I feel like my allowance level changes for the Switch. Does that sound weird?
Not really.
You know, because I wouldn't play Golf Story on the Xbox. I don't think. I don't know why, but it feels like a little small game, and it's not. Golf Story is massive, but I like to play games that I wouldn't really normally try. But when I've got access to these massive AAA games, you know, when it's Xbox time or PlayStation time, I want to be playing the big guns. But when I've got a Switch with me,
that's for the power of the console.
Yeah, exactly. But when I've got a Switch with me, I'm like, yeah, I'll play some Golf Story. You know what I mean? No problem. That's why I should buy Stardew Valley on the Switch.
You should definitely do that.
Mm-hmm.
Ape Out looks like Hotline Miami, but with an ape.
That's pretty much it. Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
You got it.
And it says on Steam, there's a little description. It's a wildly intense and colorfully stylized smash 'em up about primal escape, rhythmic violence, and frenetic jizz.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, it's jazz.
Yes.
Frenetic
jazz. So the soundtrack to the game is jazz. So every time you smash something, it plays jazz music, so it interacts with you.
I'll put it on my wish list.
Yeah.
Put it on your wish list.
It is on the Switch, apparently. Enter the Gungeon.
There you go. You see.
There you go.
There was another Hotline Miami I can't remember what that was called. It was something Tokyo Story.
There's
or
a
something.
free game called Vape Escape.
Oh God.
Wow.
I'm playing
This is
that.
the problem with you. He looks at one thing and then gets
to find out
distracted.
what I think of Vape Escape.
And he's loaded, so I don't know why he's buying these free games.
I know. He's terrible.
It's not available yet.
Right, anyway, next email is off Armar, friend of the show.
Armar.
And he says, hi, vets.
Hello.
I didn't know we'd all changed careers. We're all vets now.
Yeah, we're all vets.
Yeah. Stu, I got the game you need to play for next week.
Oh,
it's
God,
called
what?
VR Flush.
I can't play. Look, it's got to be on the Oculus Go, and most games on
sitting on a toilet. You're going to get another one for this. You're sitting on a toilet when you're abducted and beamed up to an alien spaceship.
Cool. I wish it was on the go. It sounds good. Anyway, Armar says, "Hi vets. I hope you're all well and doing good.
Yes.
I'm emailing you to get an insight from you three gents.
Oh dear.
I've recently not been into gaming, and for the first time, since I got my first computer, which was a ZX Spectrum Plus 2 back in the 80s. My currently connected consoles are Xbox One, X Scorpio Edition, a Wii U, a Switch, a beefy gaming PC, and a 3DS. I am a Nintendo and Rockstar fanboy, but I just do not feel the love anymore for gaming. What? What does that mean? What is happening?
Keep going.
Apparently not.
Apparently, though, to be fair, we've all kind of gone through these patches.
I've been there.
We sort of fall out.
I've been there.
I was feeling this week because I was sick, but then I got better, and I'm like, what was I thinking?
God almighty, I feel like I'm living in somewhere weird with lots of really bad weather. Anyway, oh no, I'm not. I'm just living in the UK, like always. I played Red Dead 2 for about 2 hours back in November, and that's it.
Damn.
No gaming over the Christmas period. I only power on Xbox One to get the free games on gold. The only gaming I've done at all was on the 3DS, and that was just your Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, and the odd game of Mario Maker or Fire Emblem.
Oh my God. Is that conservatory going to cave in, Stu?
I think it is. I really do.
Right.
The weather is literally atrocious.
Okay.
I'm surprised your internet hasn't died.
Okay, Stu, you mute and I'll carry on reading. Hopefully it'll die down. How about that?
Yeah, I will do. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
I'll do that now.
Right. Oh, thank God. Hey, Duke, he's gone. Oh, my God.
Cocksucker.
He can still hear us. All right.
I can still hear you.
Yeah. All right. Shut up. I just buy games for the heck of it now and plonk it onto my collection. Maybe the upcoming Division 2 will get me back into gaming, or perhaps I just need to find a group of people who are who online gaming. Okay, who online game on a regular basis?
Online gaming have.
Online gaming have. Maybe it's a sheer choice of volume of games in my library. At the end of the day, after work and family time, the last thing I want to do is actively engage with a console. So I either catch up on TV, YouTube, or just read for a bit. Have you guys ever been for a period where you didn't want to play any video games anymore? If so, how did you get around it? Can you also describe a typical day as to what time you finish work, what time you game from, and any weekend sections? Keep up the tremendous work, and for keeping it real, Armar, friend of the show.
Yo, Arm, let me start by saying I'm sorry you're feeling that way. I think we have all been through this in some way, shape, or form, and I think it's sometimes inevitable, but if it's best, it's going to be short-lived. So I hope it passes soon. I don't think personally I noticed anything about why it happens other than two extremes. One, which is when I'm so overwhelmed with school or work, as you all call it, and I'm just like, when I'm done with the working day, I'm just so wiped out that I'm like, I don't want to do anything right now. Like, I just want to sit and stare at the wall, or, reading can sometimes be more, gaming can be intensive. Gaming can require your attention, and, it can sometimes be kind of a strain mentally or whatever. So there's that. The other time that I've had it is when I have way too much free time and I just go nuts gaming. And then I feel like, I've been doing this for so long. Like it's not as fun as it was when I started this break period. Summertime, this happens to me. And so it's interesting because it feels like what we need is just enough work to make games, appealing in our leisure time, but not too much leisure time to avoid feeling like we've done it all.
Yeah.
So that's why it happens for me, at least.
Stu, have you got anything to add?
Yeah, you'll be pleased to know it stopped.
Good.
Yeah, it sounds a bit quieter. Yeah, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky because I have a job where I only work 4 days a week, and sometimes I have days off during the week when my wife is at work and Millie's at college, so I'm on my own, so I have lots of time to play video games.
Yeah.
All by myself.
I am, pretty much. That doesn't always happen because sometimes I have to work really long sessions of overtime, so sort of people are on holiday or whatever, or off sick. So it doesn't always happen, but on a normal week, I'm off for 3 days a week, and usually at least 2 of those days are during the week. So I'm sort of on my own, and I can just play games. I don't know. What I would say to you is what initially made you love video games, and try and think about what type of games it was, and maybe just go back to something you've not played for ages. Something that sort of really sparked your passion. Maybe just try and sort of ease yourself back into it, and then just try something new again. You see, one of the biggest things, and I know I get a lot of shit off Duke for playing these weird games, and I get a lot of shit off Chinny for playing weird games. But one of my biggest loves is just variety. Just playing just different stuff and trying out something new all the time, and willing just to try something different.
Yeah. How many times have you had sex with a pigeon in real life?
Exactly.
Imagine if you could have that in a game.
And sometimes, just by playing something different, you find something that you thought you wouldn't like, but you actually do. You know what I mean? And that's what I do anyway. I just try and keep it varied. Because
I think there are lots of different kinds of video games, and what I found over the years is that these days it's not that I don't have the same passion for gaming, it's that I have passions at different times for different kinds of games. And one of the things that I've noticed is the things around me make me want to play a certain game. So for instance, I'm doing a watch through of Black Mirror. I just got done with USS Callister. I had the strongest urge to play Rebel Galaxy or some other space game because I'm like, yeah, exploring a, procedurally generated universe. So I don't know, maybe watch a Western and then you'll want to play Red Dead.
Yeah.
There you go. I think there's a tendency to get stuck in a rut with the type of games you play. I think that's part of the problem. You go to something familiar. Do you know what I mean? I like first-person shooters, or I like open-world games, so that's what I'm going to play. And I think maybe just try something different. There you go. Right, Chinny, what do you think?
I think two things. You can do two things, right? The first one's easy. Just take a break. Don't feel guilty about not playing any games. Just put yourself away from it for a little bit, and then I feel that I've done that, and But the thing is, we have to record a podcast every week, right? So it's a bit difficult for us to take a break on video games.
Yeah, we don't do breaks
because we can't do them. But I have felt sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm not that bothered about playing video games. I'd rather just sit, because video games are very active pastime, aren't they? Not very passive. So sometimes I just want to watch Netflix and stuff. Yeah, so take a break is one. The other one is, which is really effective, which I do. I did about 6 months ago. Was spend a minute picking what you're gonna do, what you're gonna play, and only a minute.
And don't overthink it too, right? That's the thing.
It.
Sometimes when I look at my Steam collection, like I'll start looking at games and be like, oh, that would be fun, and then I start thinking about one thing about the game I don't like, and that'll dissuade me from wanting to play that. I'll just use the whole collection that way. It's so dumb.
I do that with when I've got like me time, right? When I've got like time to just do something, right? I spend a minute deciding what I'm going to do, roughly. Like I don't literally time it, but what I get at is I make a very quick decision about what I'm going to do, and then I just do it. I don't start so if I'm going to play my guitar, I just do it. If I'm going to edit a video for Veteran Gamers, I do it. If I'm going to play fucking Assassin's Creed, because what happens is, as soon as you start doing it, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. Right? As soon as you're in it, you're absolutely fine. There's a lot of times I don't feel like editing stuff. When I'm in Premiere Pro and I'm editing, I'm okay. This is the bit, and then it's
getting started. That's always the
getting started. And then as soon as and people think, oh, video games are fun. Why should they be hard to get started? But the thing is, like, video games aren't just fun; they're also challenging, right? So when the reason why Duke plays things like Rocket League and Skyrim is because they're challenging, but they're so familiar to him. So when you start a new game, it's quite a big deal. People that don't play video games don't understand that starting a new game is quite an ordeal. You have to learn new things. It's like learning how to read before you have to read a book. You have to learn all these systems again. And so what I would say is just make a very quick decision about. I do it with Netflix a lot, and picking a film, and I just make a very quick thing, and I'm not going to spend my whole fucking life. And the other thing that I do is I have time limiters on my apps.
Oh, sorry.
What was that? I have
also started a video.
Time machine.
I have time limiters on my apps. I have apps on my phone that have limited time. So if I'm on them too long, they lock up.
Interesting.
I mean, I can unlock it pretty easily because I know my own PIN number, obviously.
Oh, but it's a good sign. That you
but you know what? I use the Instagram app, the Twitter app, the Facebook app, and the Reddit app a lot, and I put locks on them all. And what happens is when it locks up, it tells me that I've been on this. They're only 15 minutes. I'm only allowed to go on 15 minutes a day. All right, and as soon as it kicks me off, I'm like, that tells my brain, I've been looking at this for 15 minutes today. That's ridiculous. I need to fucking do something.
Yeah, sure.
I like that. It's good.
What, you're talking about the video that you tried to watch, you fucking bastard?
No, I didn't. I didn't try to watch it.
So hopefully those are some good suggestions. Don't think too much about it. Go look at the third last game you played and start playing that. Don't talk about it.
Or just take a break. Or just, you know what I mean? Just take a break.
He's already had a break. He last played a video game in November.
Because I guarantee if you start playing Red Dead again, right? If you just fucking play it, right? You'll be like, fucking hell. I did that with Mass Effect 2. Like I bought Mass Effect 2. I didn't play it for a year later, and I played it, and I was obsessed with it. And I was just like, what the fuck was I playing at?
There you go. Well, we hope we gave you some good advice there.
I feel like a motivational speaker then.
As for the second part of the question, I usually I'm home from school around 4, taking care of the dog for an hour, washing dishes, that sort of thing. I often go to social media, maybe half an hour, answering emails, doing stuff like that. So by the end of the evening, I usually have maybe 1 or 2 hours for gaming on a weeknight. And then on the weekends, Saturday, I usually have a few hours on Saturday, depending on what else is going on. It's weird because there are some nights, like on Tuesday of this week, we have a 12-hour day. We have parent-teacher conferences after a regular school day, so that's going to be rough. But whatever, it's not that bad. I don't get mad when I don't have any gaming time on days like that. But on days where I get home and then like I'm too tired or something, I'm like, I deserve time for gaming. It's like so silly that I'm that entitled. I have this attitude of like, yeah, I should be able to play some games. Meh.
Yeah.
And so you should.
I come back from work about 6, and some nights Tara's teaching Pilates, some nights she's not, and then usually I just time it with the nights that she's teaching. And then on the weekends,
so you don't get no grief then either, do you?
It's not that. It's just like, just spending time because.
What about me, Mike? You're neglecting me.
No, it's not that. It's just like, if she's been out and stuff, and then like on the days where she is here, it's only like kind of right that you try and spend. But sometimes she doesn't. She just wants to do something else. So whatever. So I'd sort of pick it, and then the weekend it depends. If we got a weekend where we got nothing on, I'll dive into a 2-3 hour session.
Okay, right. We have got yet more emails, and the next one's off Kev Westerman. And
what up, Kev?
What's up, veterans?
Hey.
How are you all doing?
All right.
I'm doing fine.
Good.
I'm fine.
I finished this work I had to do for school. I made like 100 reminder slips for students who didn't turn things in. I didn't grade any papers today, but I got a lot of this bookkeeping shit done. So that's a successful day.
There you go. Me? Well, thanks for asking. I'm doing just great.
How are you?
How's the hedge searching going, Stu? I'm after one of those new Xbox One Mavericks, the streaming-only box. If you happen to stumble across one, you never know. You never know. Chinny, heard you were in Leeds not so long back. Give us a shout-out next time. Always something going on. There's a great little burger place that has a retro gaming bar attached. There's always retro gaming nights being organised. Also, one of the larger bars has just announced localised esports comps such as Smash and Mario Kart 8, etc.
There you go. I didn't know you were in Leeds. I don't go to. You know what? I don't go to Leeds very often. Tara used to live there, so I know it very well. But yeah, I haven't been for a while.
Duke, hope the Missus's campaign is going to plan.
It is, and we just released our campaign ad, and it's awesome. So if you're not friends with me on Facebook, you're missing out because it's a good ad.
By the way, how are you getting on with Red Dead?
Hot.
It's fine. I also didn't connect with it. Shh, don't tell. Anyway,
it's not that I didn't connect with it. That's not what's going on.
Oops.
You just can't be arsed. Anyway,
I sit down at the computer to look at social media and check email and stuff, and then I just don't want to get up. It's in the other room. It's the most ridiculous reason for not playing a game as great as Red Dead is. I'm so ashamed of myself.
I think the worst thing about all this is you bought a console to play it on.
I know.
It's not just the fact you've got the game and didn't bother playing it. It's the fact you bought a console
Which reminds me of
playing
a
it.
conversation I had with a student this week. He goes, the student was like, yeah, I'm playing on the, I asked if he played on the, he mentioned video games. I said, do you play on a console or a PC? And he goes, console, nobody plays on PC. And I was like, I have a PC. He's like, why would you spend all that money for a PC? And I was like, well, I wanted access to a lot of the indie games. There's a lot of really cool indie games that are available on the PC.
You never play.
Well, sometimes I play some of them. I play Stardew Valley, so shut up. Anyway, and then the student goes, well, how much was it? And I was like, well, I also wanted to be able to play the latest releases, so, probably about $1,500. And he was like, what indie games are you playing that you had to get a $1,500 PC?
He's right. And by the way, dude, can I just let you know, Stardew Valley is on pretty much everything.
It is now, but it wasn't at first. So why don't you shut your mouth?
Do you know what you should do? You should unplug your Xbox and just give it to some homeless person.
Yeah.
Because
give it a bush.
Because they'll probably get more use out of it than you do lately.
Yeah, you'll keep them warm.
Even if you just put it on top of them while they sleep.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know you don't really care, but this week I have been playing Bulletstorm. What a game!
It's a good game.
It is a good game. The missus and I had a little 2-player pass and play and completed it in one sitting. Comedy gold. Yeah, it's a good game.
One sitting, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
It is. It's still a fairly like 6-7 hour game, isn't it? It's not like it's done and dusted in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
I started playing Assassin's Odyssey. I know. I said I was going to complete all of the others before I started.
Oh yeah.
Just couldn't wait. I guess I could play them in reverse, right?
Kev, no, Kev, that's shit, man. Go back.
He fucking well copped out.
Go,
didn't he?
you fucking cop out. Go back.
Wow.
If you're listening to this, right, and you're playing Odyssey now, what I want you to do is get the controller, throw it out the window, right, and run. You should not be doing that.
I think we all lost a little bit of respect for you there, Kev.
Kev, I'm disappointed in you, Kev. Not as much as I'm disappointed in Stu because he just lets me down all the time. But
Yeah,
Kev,
whatever.
oh Kev, I was so like cool. I was like, excited that you're going to experience Assassin's Creed in this like kind of time capsule way. It was going to be amazing. But
Kev.
Kev.
Oh dear. We also had fun running through Rad Rogers on 2-player. What the hell's Rad Rogers?
Rad Rogers.
So much to be had with this little retro 2D action platformer. Never heard of Rad Rogers. Finally, we put a few hours into Catherine. What a fucking amazing game. Can I just say? The frustration is next level, resulting in me in rage quitting. No, right, okay, Kev. Put your ear next to the speaker because if you go on the Tinternet, Tinterweb, shut up. If you go on the Tinterweb, there's a secret way of getting the very easy mode, which is still challenging but not nearly as frustrating. So go on Tinterweb, look up how you do it, and then you've got to put in this weird button combination shit, and then you get an extra option in the difficulty settings, which is very easy.
You shouldn't have to do this shit.
Shut up.
Hey, Ginny, what did you say people should do if they were playing?
You should hold the controller, throw it out the window, and run.
It's still not very easy. It's still not very easy, but it's more accessible, shall we say? Because normal level on that is fucking nails. But yeah, it's good. Rage quitting, spitting out my dummy and reverting to planting cherry trees in Stardew Valley. This wasn't due to the game itself. The problem was caused by the lag on the PS Now service. All right, okay. I take it all back. I thought it was because it is a very difficult game, but yeah. Yeah, you're probably better buying a disc of that. In fact, I'll tell you what, Kev. I still have this game. I have this game on disc. Should I part with it? Should I let Kev have it?
Yes.
The disc version?
Yes.
Look, Kev, I'll tell you what, Kev. Send another email, and if you want, I will post Catherine to you because it's such an amazing game. Because I'm unlikely to ever play it again on the PS3, and I will be buying the new version when it comes out this year. So if you really want to have a go on the very easy mode with something that doesn't lag at all, send me an email with your address, and I'll send it to you.
And we'll read your address on the show so everybody can brick you.
And we'll read out your address so everybody knows where you live.
Yeah.
I thought I'd try PS Now out of curiosity after Microsoft leak about the Xbox One Maverick. I was interested to see what PlayStation had to offer, and to be frank, it's not a right lot. With this potentially being the first streaming-only console and the discussion of the Xbox Store being available on PC now, let's just clarify. I don't think they're touting this as the first streaming-only console. I think it's the first downloadable-only console. So it'd be more downloading games to it rather than using a disc. So I don't think that's strictly true. As far as I'm aware, I don't think there'll be streaming games to it. They'll just be downloading.
I don't care. No, I do. I think they're selling it as like a discless Xbox.
Yeah.
And then I think what Kevin's getting at is like eventually the Xstream shit that they're doing will be on this shit.
Possibly. I mean,
your internet's bad.
Internet.
Your internet's bad tonight. You keep cutting out.
I know. I don't know whether it's the weather or whatever, but it has been a bit patchy.
Go on. Say that last thing you said again.
I was just saying I've been using Nvidia now quite a bit, and that's been quite slick.
Yeah, we're not talking about that though.
Yeah, but that's streaming. That's a streaming.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think the Xbox, what Microsoft wants is to get a fucking Xbox into people's homes and get them used to just downloading shit, because then they get used to download it, and then they get used to then get them on the Game Pass, and then they'll get them on the X cross streaming thing that they got going, You know, just get people used to just downloading shit. Which is funny because this is the way they announced the Xbox One, and everybody went no, and now it's all going that way.
Do you ever see a time where you could have an all-in-one streaming service console where the consumer has a choice of what gaming platform they use, either PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, Epic, etc., etc., etc.? I think that's possible.
See, yeah,
like Google are doing a lot of shit.
We've all got a streaming console. It's called a fucking phone, right? Or your PC. Or your internet browser. It's all going to just go through that shit. That's all. That's where it's going. Right? And you're just going to have to log into fucking Steam or Epic or Microsoft. And then you know, it's like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and all that sort of stuff. It's just happening. The only reason it took so long is because the files are so fucking huge. Right?
An internet connection.
An internet connection. So music was the first because the files are small. You didn't need fast internet. Then movies. They're no games. It's just the way it is.
It'll happen.
Of course it will.
All you need is a variety of controllers. I think they'll come up with some sort of combined.
It'll be basically the Xbox controller. Like the Xbox One is everybody. I think generally everybody agrees that the Xbox controller is the best one. But like the PlayStation one's good as well.
Yeah.
Have you cut out again?
He cut out again.
Anyway, I've talked way too much. Have a good week.
You've cut out again, Stu.
Oh my god.
We gotta wrap this up. We're almost done.
Right.
Anyway, thanks, Kev. Thanks, Kev. We've got one more from Derek.
All right, quick before you cut out again.
I will. I'll try. The Veteran Gamblers. Hello, veteran gamers.
Hello.
I was typing the name of Boss Wave podcast into iTunes earlier, but realised I'd wrongly spelled it as Boss Weave.
Yeah,
which
that's a good show.
That's a different. No, it's a podcast about hair extensions. You don't want that.
Different type of podcast. It was hard to imagine Chris, Rob, and Pilch talking about the latest weaving patterns, retro loom technology, and how modern weavers have never had it so good. But who knows? Maybe we all have a passion for the subject that might appeal as a podcast to other listeners. So, if you could start your own brand new, shiny podcast today covering a subject you feel passionate about, what would it be? So something other than video games.
What about like politics? What if I were to just talk about politics for like an hour?
Well, wait, like if you talked about politics, hip hop, killer robots.
Oh, I can't bother keeping track of all those different topics. That's stupid.
I think you should definitely do that, Duke. It would be such a good idea.
Nobody would listen to that bullshit.
Yeah, because you're into all that stuff as well, so it's something you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Pash, baby. I don't know. What would you do? Chinny, what would you do a podcast about if you didn't do video games?
It'd be cool to do a podcast about like businessy shit.
Oh god.
I suppose
I'm going to sleep already.
Yeah, well, people sleep on this show, don't worry.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Matt and I are constantly like going to these like business things and like learning about how to develop a business and stuff. I mean, there are business. I've looked for some. I haven't really found one that I like, but I'd probably do one about that. I could probably do one about fuck off, you cunt. I'd probably do one.
Sorry.
Probably
wait till Stu gets to his cooking podcast.
Yeah, wait till Stu gets to his fucking I don't know how to look at a wart podcast. I've always liked space, but for me to do a space podcast, I'd need somebody smart. And then I would be like, "That's."
Those are sometimes good podcasts when there's somebody who's just the jokester and someone who knows what
I'd be the comedian guy who's not, but like I'm nowhere near as funny
as like a really good idea.
Nowhere near as funny as a real comedian, and then I have a space person. But you know, I know Star Talk is a thing, so
yeah.
Yeah, and the Infinite Monkey Cage is another thing that's
but Robin ain't that funny.
He's funny enough. And they always get a proper comedian on, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Me, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do it about.
Cooking.
I don't know. I don't even know where I could be bothered. Video games is fine.
I feel like you could, Stu, could do a podcast. Probably, to be fair, us three could do a podcast where there's no agenda. There's nothing.
Oh yeah, no, we could definitely do that.
We're not allowed. We're banned from video games, right?
Yeah.
And we've got a 2-hour slot, and we just have to talk. And I think
Talk shit.
I think we could do it.
Is that not what we do here every week?
Probably.
We have something to cling on, don't we? We have video
we
games.
have half an hour of video games, and then the rest of it is just bollocks.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, anything else done?
No, there's more to his email. It's nearly finished, so there's not much. I always thought it would be good to have 50 to 60-minute long weekly music podcasts going through my own album collection, maybe talking about 5 albums for about 10 minutes each.
You know what? I did something kind of like that on one of the Syncasts early in the genesis of that thing, where I went through my album collection and I picked one album or one artist in each of the letters, and then I played like 5 seconds or 20 seconds of each artist. That was fun. I should go back and listen to that.
There you go. I have about 8,000 albums on cassette, vinyl, CD, and digital download, so I could spin the podcast out for quite a while. It would also give me an incentive to listen to some older albums that I've neglected, or ones I might never have listened to for one reason or another. That's all for now. I like music as well, so I'll do that with you, Derek. I'll talk about music.
The trick is that it has to be... Music taste is such an interesting thing. Like, I'll put songs that I've found on YouTube, and I'll put them on Facebook and be like, hey, people, you got to check this out. And, like, nobody responds to it. It's so weird that people... First of all, people aren't ever going to like the song you like when you play it. That's a weird thing right there.
Yeah. Like, I listened to a band of gamers, which is our friend Carl Stew, who is on the Entertainers and stuff, and he does that with 2 other chaps over your way, Duke. I think they actually are in Madison, actually. Funny enough. They go to the gaming thing. You know the gaming thing that you went to with Sean?
Yeah.
They go to that.
Gaming classic retro game.
Yeah. They go to that and meet up. So I think they're very close to you. So I listen to their show, and they do an A side and a B side to their show, which I quite like the idea of. So the A side is video games, and the B side is music, right? And I really try to listen to the music section, but I just feel like it ain't me. Do you know what I mean? Because they like a lot of rock, and I like rock, some rock. To be fair to them, they like all sorts of music. They are very open, but it's just more often than not, like 90% of the time, it's like this I ain't into this. So music, I feel like music is such a tough, because it's so wide. You know what I mean? It's so massive, and there are artists. I mean, there's pop, there's music, and then there's regional music, and then there's like every area has like stars and music and styles. I think video games is broad, but it's also not too broad that we can rail it in, and like this, we're probably going to mention games that people are into,
or at least they've heard about. Like, I don't think video games, it's getting there, but it's not nearly as wide. I mean, there's so many different kinds of music, and I just think video games aren't crazy. Nearly as broad as, I mean, movies I think are kind of in between, because there's a lot of movie podcasts. I've never listened to a movie podcast, mostly because if they're talking about movies that are just out, I haven't seen, so I don't want spoilers. And if they're older movies, maybe I've seen them, maybe I haven't. I don't know. It's rare that the only movies I listen to regularly, movie podcasts, are bad movie podcasts.
Yes. Flophouse. Yeah. How did this get made? Which is one of my favorite. But like, the problem with movie podcasts is, like, I suppose you can talk about, a film always works. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to press play and it's not going to work. Do you know what I mean? Right. Like, obviously, in terms of how it works, and how it's shot and all that sort of stuff, that's different. But but you can't really talk about films without really spoiling them that much. Yeah. Exactly. Whereas with games, you can talk around them a lot.
It's true. And the in-depth discussions, you can just stay away from them. But there's plenty to talk about without getting into spoilers. Whereas with most movies, it's not even worth talking about until you get to spoilers.
It's like, okay, we want to talk about this. Everybody's got to watch it before we talk about it. And that's the problem.
With bad movie podcasts, I can just watch the trailer and pretty much know what what I'm going to talk about.
Oh, how did this get made? I used to watch them. And it was so funny.
Because they're going to be hilariously dumb.
The film was the hard part. The podcast was the reward. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, no doubt.
Stu's gone, so we can do whatever we want.
That means we're done with the emails, people.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
Thanks everybody for sending an email. By the way, that's awesome. Unfortunately, though, Stu is back. So
I am back. I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to go. That was like an Austin Powers wee.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta go, man.
We're doing shout outs.
All right, go. Who's been? Anyone?
I want to shout out Lewis. We know Lewis. He's been on the show. He wrote in last week about us playing Apex together. Lewis is one funny dude. I like Lewis. Me and Marsh played with Lewis, and it was the first time Marsh had met Lewis, and we was laughing all night. And he says that he's got crap jokes, and he's I just like Lewis. I've got a lot of time for him now, and if you want to play Apex Legends with me, I'll be streaming it next Thursday. Because Apex seems to do well, and it's a game that people can jump in. So I'll keep 2 slots open, and then maybe if there's people around, I'll rotate them around. But yeah, so if you want to join me on Apex, I will try. If people want to, I will download it on the PlayStation as an option, and then I'll do a poll. This won't get out until fucking Thursday anyway, because that's the problem, Stu.
Yes, it will.
If I can't promote the stream. Because it's all behind.
Put it on Twitter. Put it on Twitter. What's the matter with you? Stick it on Facebook.
Your reason for it being up on a Thursday doesn't hold up anymore.
Kind of does.
Your original reason for why it took so long to upload till Thursday was because you had time to edit it.
No.
Back when we started the show,
that was the original reason, but that's not anymore. No, the reason now is that's the release date, so that's when I do it. That's what people are used to. The amount of people go, look forward to
What's
that Friday.
So bored.
It's kind of 2 camps of people.
What's that short story, Duke, with the is it the lottery?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
That's the way it's been.
And let's be honest, right? The other week when we had to fanny around changing days and stuff because some people couldn't come.
People would be upset, and then they'd get the fuck over it.
Yeah, but that's happened a few times.
Hey, if you're gonna dig your heels in and not change on this, okay, I've accepted it. Don't try to rationalize it with some sort of decent logic.
No, don't bring it up then.
I didn't bring it up.
I brought it up. I brought it up.
Yeah, your fault.
My shot.
Anyway, calm down.
I'm gonna go to Antonio because we had some Rocket League. We played some good games and had some good fun. And then the next time we tried to play, it didn't work out. He had some trouble with Steam or something. But he's also dealing with a knee injury, so not injury, but his knee's gone bad. So good luck, Antonio. Get that all sorted, and let's have some more games before too long. Thanks to our regular emailers, Derek Sains and Jason Galar and everybody else who writes. Who else wrote in this week?
A few. Kev.
Paul.
Thanks to
Paul.
Kev.
South Dakota neighbor.
And shout out to the Duchess because she's getting better, but she's still sick, and I'm sad that she's sick, and I hope that she's all healthy soon.
Get better soon.
Well, I'm going to do a shout out to Lewis this week, because he's going through GCSEs at the moment, and I know how stressy it was for Millie this time last year.
Yeah.
So I just want to say good luck and, revise well. And I hope you do really well in them and don't get too sort of nervy about it and just do your best.
And when you get done, treat yourself to a little relaxation. Maybe this will be you in a week.
A bit of R&R. There you go. So that's it. That's the only shout I've got. Lewis.
Right.
And we should shout out Pete as well for filling in for your
last. Rob and Chris, thank you for coming by when I was.
Rob and Chris the week before because Duke were a date. Tell you, what is the matter with you lot?
Yeah.
And that's it. We're done.
Cool.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
Mommy, dark stupid. They fill us with romance and hatred and revenge fantasies.
Way off base. You've forgotten that received That's all it ever was a piece of shit.
I forgot to mention why I was off.
Oh,
why were you off?
Why were you off?
Met Sebastian Coe.
Oh,
I saw the picture actually.
Who's Sebastian Coe?
Sebastian Coe I think he won 2 gold medals in the Olympics.
1500 meters.
Yes, and 800.
Was.
And he, in 2012, he was largely responsible for the London Olympics. He was kind of like the driving force.
He was in charge.
Him and 3 other people was in a pub in about 2005, and they said the Olympics needs to come to London, and here's why, and they made it happen. Well, it might have been earlier than that, but yeah, whatever. So they made it happen, and he talks about how I thought it would be. I thought it's like a no-brainer. Do you know what I mean? Let's bring the Olympics to the. But he had a lot of resistance, and he said he described it like starting a business, but you've got $8 billion in debt.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
The show is over.
Dun, dun, dun. Done.
Saving. Man, I turned the sound up after a few minutes in, and it shows there's this bump in the middle of the file.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
Save it as an Amadeus profile. VG, what episode is it?
479. 479.
Yes. Okay.
666.
Isn't Twitter a funny place?
Beef up your ass.
Why?
Because Ginny himself will sort of put stuff on Twitter, you know, like I'm streaming sort of the game on Thursday night, whatever.
Right.
And then Ginny does a random just tweets video games.
Yeah.
And it gets 281 impressions and 7 engagements.
Yeah, well.
4 likes and 3 replies.
Right. There's a comedian who will put things like "why" with 10 question marks, and people 20 retweets.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what people want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, the Muramasa thing, the muff diving thing, got quite a lot of stuff as well. But it's just video games. One, 2 words, and you get loads of like interaction. Very odd. People are weird.
Yep.
Twitter
All right,
is
guys,
a weird
have a
place.
good evening. I will
We
catch
will.
you next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Oh.
Right.
Right.
Stopping the stream. Say goodbye, Stu.
Goodbye.